vehicle soon after you finish firing. If the temperature reaches a critical level, the gun locks and cannot be fired until it fully cools. One more trait of the whole branch is reserve tracks. If the main track is destroyed, the vehicle isn't stopped and can keep moving at a slower pace. To fully immobilize the tank, enemies need to destroy the reserve track too. This chassis feature helps you stay on the move, searching for new tactical opportunities. American autocannon tanks are for you if you like to control the rhythm of battle. The vehicles are perfect for flanking. And from long range, they provide good support to allies. Even if they don't penetrate, they have the enemy feeling on edge with constant pressure. Just remember to stay balanced and avoid the gun overheating. Choose your fire rate wisely. Don't take risks and keep an eye on the temperature, and high DPM is yours, as is the blast you'll have firing. Meet American medium tanks with autocannons. Stay in control, stay effective. The holidays are over, and the World of Tanks team is ready to present the large-scale update 2.1.1, which brings you new tanks and mechanics, improved Tier 11 vehicles, sound and interface updates, varied modes, and enjoyable rewards. Let's start with the hottest edition, the new branch of American autocannon medium tanks. It sprouts from the T-20 and includes 4 vehicles, topped by the Tier 11 Ares 90C. The newcomers differ from Czechoslovakian autocannon light tanks with a lower fire rate, but larger calibers and higher damage, as well as the unique thermal overheat control mechanic. These vehicles don't have the usual reloading system. At the start of battle or after you change the shell type, a belt of the selected ammo is loaded, which you can fire without stopping, only pausing to prevent the gun overheating. In some combat situations, it's better to fire single shots, while in others, you should unleash a barrage of fire to cause maximum damage in the shortest time frame. The main thing to remember is that the hotter the gun gets, the greater the dispersion. If it overheats, the lock system will kick in, and you'll need to wait until it fully cools. One more feature of these vehicles is reserve tracks. Thanks to these, you'll keep moving if your main track is destroyed. The American autocannon medium tanks, topped by a Tier 11 vehicle, are for you if you like to control the rhythm of battle. But if you want to try some different gameplay, take a look at another 2 new Tier 11 vehicles. Let's start with the Japanese STK-2 heavy tank, which carries on the tradition of the Type 71. The new vehicle has great gun depression thanks to its hydro-pneumatic suspension, as well as good turret armor, high damage per minute, and active gun cooling mechanic. Thanks to the last one, the gun starts cooling immediately after a shot, and the accuracy is partially improved by the time it finishes reloading. When it is fully cooled, the dispersion is minimal, like that of the best snipers in the game. And after several shots, it goes to the level of classic heavy tanks and lets you fight comfortably in close combat. This makes the new Tier 11 Japanese STK-2 heavy tank effective from any range and in varied combat situations. The next Tier 11 vehicle is the Chinese PTZ-78 tank destroyer with solid fuel jet boosters. These turn the massive assault vehicle into an unpredictable and even more dangerous opponent. The shunting solid fuel boosters work independently of each other. Thanks to this, the PTZ-78 can make a bold attack or withdraw unexpectedly fast to defend itself. At the same time, when the vehicle is using the boosters, they don't stop it reversing. Strong frontal armor, a big HP pool, and a gun with good penetration and damage alongside the solid fuel boosters will help you fulfill the role of an assault TD with maximum efficiency. Another 6 Tier 11 vehicles will also suit their role on the battlefield better. These have received a number of changes based on the statistics we collected and your feedback. The ASXX-40T, Leopard 120, Object 432U, CS-67 Shakal, Hirschkäfer, and STRV-10712 have had their characteristics improved. They will be even more comfortable and effective to fight in. And now you can keep track of your achievements in combat on the battle results screen via the special Mission Progress tab. For instance, you can find out your progress in the new Battle Pass track. There's a legendary addition to the ranks of World of Tanks. In the new Battle Pass special chapter, expect nostalgic characters, cult quotes,
"Dead or alive, you're coming with me,"
and the shining armor of the new law enforcement defender, the OCP Peacekeeper, armed with a powerful gun that causes 440 HP of damage per shot. Important updates await you in the latest installment of Onslaught. You'll find expanded statistics in which you can see your progress for each day of the season. The Bond Shop has some additions: a new Tier 9 vehicle, the American LTC-2 light tank, as well as new improved equipment, the telescopic observation system, and tactical concealment net. Now you can head into battle with the Chinese 114 SP-2 tank destroyer with high alpha and a rotating turret. And you also have the opportunity to rent new vehicles: the Ho Re 3, Super Conqueror, and K91. Erlenberg has been added to the map rotation, while Klondike temporarily leaves. Several maps have gotten selective improvements to make the competitive battles more dynamic and exciting. The audio design of Onslaught also continues to improve. The improved sound physics transmit the sound realistically, accounting for reflections on surfaces and bends of obstructions. Charge into battle and keep fighting for the main Onslaught reward: the Tier 10 Polish Ashbringer heavy tank with a unique style and a trained crew. And if you need a break from the tense battles, a few familiar modes await you in the new update. On February 2nd, Frontline will start in its familiar format, now with vehicle playlists available. Control your favorite Tier 8 vehicles and fight for valuable rewards on 3 epic maps. 2 arcade cabinet sub-modes also await: Snowballs, a fun firefight with sped-up vehicles, and Ice Age, with dynamic battles and dizzying skids on slippery maps. Have a blast and get rewards in the winter merriments. More good news. With the updates released, the opportunity to get the Outstanding Collector achievement remains in the game permanently. Collect all researchable vehicles from Tier 6 through 10 that were in the game before the release of Update 2.0 to get unique, honorable insignias. Log into the game to research new and improved vehicles, get rewards, and feel high-octane thrills in different modes. Let's battle!
Welcome to Media Break. Good evening, Delta City. Gangs are running wild as violence spreads through the streets. Officials assure citizens that Omni Consumer Products is working on a solution. We know how to deal with crime. The OCP Peacekeeper. Ready to know more?
All units, this is Reed. We have a 211 in progress, multiple armed suspects, active shooter situation. Move in now!
Murphy, get your metal ass over here!
Cop, OCP is sending you reinforcements.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
With the readjustment here, is Illusia going to get another shot in towards the lower plate? Yes, that means one shot on towards the 50M. Is XC-Max going to pick it up? Good shot in towards the cupola. It is the 1v1 we've been waiting for here, and he does it.
The OLS Season 5 is already here. The best teams are ready to head onto the battlefield. Who will you be supporting? Root for your favorites, follow their journey, and stand by them. With you on their side, they'll be unstoppable. You take hits together with them, and that means you go all the way. Behind every vehicle is a personality, whose quick thinking and precise actions can change the outcome of battle. Victory is 100 shots and maneuvers, plus 1,000 emotions on the other side of the screen. Support your favorite OLS team. Be by their side. Together, until victory.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Surfshark Onslaught Legends Series Season 5, Playday 5 as well. That is a mouthful. Hello Banter, you have joined us yet again today.
Yeah, somehow got invited back, but yeah, happy to be here.
Big matches today, especially, you know, Lotus versus Vulgus is a big one as well for the bottom of the leaderboard. But before that, let's take a brief moment to shout out our sponsor. Surfshark is, as you may have noticed, the official sponsor of the Onslaught Legends Series League Season 5. We're very happy to have them supporting the tournament, of course, and contributing towards the prize pool so the players at home can take home some additional winnings. But For you, there's something in it as well. Surfshark is a VPN that helps you keep your connection completely secure and private, whether you're gaming, traveling, or browsing online. It works on unlimited devices, which means that when you get one subscription, it works for your phone, your tablet, your second tablet, your 15th phone as well, and it's fast and easy to use, exactly what anybody may be looking for. Surfshark has prepared a special offer specifically for you guys at home. Just go to surfshark.com/OLS and use the code OLS at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. You can find all the details through the clickable banner on the official World of Tanks Twitch channel. Just scroll down a little bit, but for now, let's get back to the action. Yeah, the first match on the board bound there, Vulgus versus Lotus, very important for those bottom positions.
Yeah, it's important for both. I mean, we saw yesterday Lotus finally kicked it into gear against Weekend. Vulgus had less of an enjoyable time, but this is a really important match. Like, this is do or die for Vulgus. Not completely do or die for Lotus, but it's still very, very important points. Like, this is clash at the bottom.
If Lotus wins this, right, then they're going to be on 7 points, I think, right? It will be very much, I think, basically, it's impossible for Vulgus to catch up. And I think Weekend, are they at 1 or 0 points? I need to double check.
I think they're at 1 point, but again, don't quote me on that one. But yeah, like, Vulgus have just not had a good season so far. And is it actually confirmed it's impossible for them to go through now?
Vulgus?
Yeah.
No, Vulgus, because if they win this, right, and then they win the next 2 playdays, it's possible.
Yeah. So again, this is like do or die completely.
Basically, if Lotus wins this, then, like, if Lotus wins this with 3 points, then they'll be on 7 with Weekend and Vulgus being on 0 each, which means that Weekend needs to win all of their matches to make it through. Yeah. Tiebreaker wins is not enough. Like, they could get 2 tiebreaker wins and 1 regular win, and then we go to round difference, not something you want to bank on. So if Lotus wins this with clean 3 points, they are throwing a really good bet towards that stage 2.
Yeah, so again, today, very important for these 2 teams.
Very important for your tokens as well, if you're making your way towards that Canonian Yak Panzer at KV122 as well. 5 tokens today. Next week, we're only streaming on Tuesday. Keep that in mind. We also have the Sunday stream before that. Here we are, the standings. We're talking about it a little bit already. So, Vulgus lose this. They cannot make it anymore because they would have 2 playdays left with maximum of 6 points to get. Lotus would have 7. Impossible for Vulgus to overtake it. They would be the first team locked out. If Weekend today don't pick up at least a point, right? They need at least a point to stay in contention. Then they're also out. Like, if Weekend and Vulgus lose, it's Lotus confirmed, and Weekend and Vulgus will be, not making it to stage 2 and be departing us.
Yeah. So Lotus will be watching, well, obviously playing this game and then watching Weekend's game intently to see if they get that automatic qualification. But
I mean, for Lotus, it's like they just need to do what is expected from them to beat Vulgus, and if they do that, well, then they can start looking towards the future.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's at least for these lower seeded teams, that's the main objective, right? You want to at least get to the next few play days, get some punches into the more established teams, and then see if you can make it through. And that's what Lotus have done.
So match day 5 will start with Lotus versus Vulgus. Then we have Mafia versus Cashback, which is going to be a very interesting match as well. W versus Weekend, and Hit versus CTR, also very interesting.
Yeah, we'll need to see. I mean, Mafia as well. The 3-0 from yesterday, they're going to be riding on day before yesterday, sorry, riding on a wave of confidence. So we'll need to see. There's going to be some interesting games today.
But first up, it is Lotus versus Vulgus. And Vulgus so far in the last play day, I think they played hit and run, right? And that was a really, really hard match for them. It was, it was fast.
Yeah, fast is definitely the word you can describe. Decisive is another one. That it's just, I mean, we can't say it's unexpected, but it wasn't pretty.
The Lotus lineup here, they're actually doing a bit, not that much better as expected, because they were also like the team that came in with the highest expectations, right?
Yeah, I mean, they came in with some expectations, but I mean, it just hasn't been there for either team. But I mean, Lotus have done better. They did much better against Weekend, and yeah, we'll need to see how it does it there. Okay.
Botsik here, the highlight player, 3.2k average. That's about what you expect. He plays the RHM, the E50M. Those are the damage dealers in the team. I guess the people that you would see usually towards the bottom of the DPG are the ones that, even like the Type 5/BZ players, right?
Yeah, I mean the lower DPM tanks, the ones that aren't expected to deal the damage, but kind of either spot or take the hits. Those are the tanks you won't see it that much, but I mean, he's still playing 50M, still getting good damage in, so it's not that bad.
I'm kind of curious what Vulgus can bring, though. Community prediction, 86% in favor of Lotus. That's quite a bit for Vulgus. Of course, even if they don't make it into Stage 2, they'll have opportunities later to return back into the OLS, potentially. And, you know, even if they don't end up making it through, every match is practice for that, right?
Exactly. The best training is the real world training, you know. And I said this like before the games yesterday. Like Lotus, I expected them to perform a lot better. They have those established players, Jordan, Sokol, Toxic. Like these are players that played in Goodnight Normally that should be at least familiar with this level. Vulgus have always been kind of scrapping on the outskirts, so I think community predictions are about accurate with this one.
Yeah, I mean, from what we've seen so far, it is Lotus doing well. They also took, you know, you can't forget that they took Mafia to a tiebreaker, which was also crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it was and to be honest, I feel like they almost deserved to win that one, but it's been a strange season, you know. Mafia getting taken to tiebreaker by Lotus, but absolutely clapping W. It's been a weird one so far, but an enjoyable one to watch.
Map, pick, and bans. We're starting it off with Sand River going into Cliff after. So Sand River is the first one, Cliff is the second one. Sand River could be played pretty slow, could be played pretty aggressive. How do you think Vulgus needs to approach this match?
I mean, they've chosen Cliff, which tends to be like a less about strats, more about kind of who you send up and down, and then a lot of player skill. Sand River is much more positional. That's Lotus's pick. So we'll need to see. I mean, I'm still favoring Lotus here. I feel like they're going to do quite well on Sand River. Cliff could be a toss-up. I think Vulgus will definitely take a round, maybe two. I think especially on Cliff, I think they might be cooking something, but yeah, still giving it to Lotus. And Moravanko's the tiebreaker. Could go either way.
I mean, first we have to get to Moravanka, right? Which is an ask by itself if we look what Vulgus has been doing recently. The match against Hit and Run, they looked pretty confused, right? They tried to do something, it didn't work out, overthinking it a bit. Here against Lotus, Nerve should be a bit less high, more realistic of an opponent.
Yeah, definitely. But looking at the predictions, all of us going 3-1, you with the 3-2. So, Vulgus, please don't let me down. But
yeah, they decided to change it up a little bit today. We'll see how it plays out.
Not just copying my predictions.
Copying your predictions. I do not copy, you know, newbies. You know what I mean? Like, what's the point to copy the person that comes in brand new? Well, we'll see.
Brand new on top of the leaderboard.
Wow.
I hear.
Temporary success is not a, you know, it's not guaranteed for the future, but guaranteed is Vulgus playing aggressive, because Triple BZ, CS63, 140, 4-U, and an RHM kind of says that you have to.
Yeah, Lotus going for that 1BZ, 1M5Y, Centurion, 50M, K90, double K91. I believe we saw this on the last playday, and Botsik in that Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. Quite a control lineup there. They're definitely not going to make any pushes.
No, and Vulgus with that Triple BZ will have to play very aggressive. You can see that as well. The plane coming out spots 2, but the side of Vulgus doesn't see the 4-U, and we've seen this gap pressure as well. I think W comes to mind, right? They also tried something similar with 2 tanks on the Moskin and the 4-U playing on the right side. The 4-U ended up dying. That comes to mind from recent memory.
Yeah. But no, it's a pretty established strategy, taking the triple cap. I mean, some nice punishment on the way onto Ole. But I quite like this opening by Vulgus, taking those 2 strikes, denying the caps, but looks like they're pushing off the cap actually and going through the riverbed.
Interesting that they decide to abandon that cap, because we can look at it. The middle area is one that is under heavy contention. Tarks is there on the left, Twist is in front of him, David is also there in the BZ75, but Dark seems to be in a pretty desperate crossfire. Strike coming home as well on him, minus 1800. The second one coming as well. He's down towards 304. Danny boosting forward now, wants to get him out of the game. It's not gonna get it though, but it might just push up and over into that, to be honest. And Tarks actually dropped off a cliff and ended up crashing to that. In return, Jordan pushed through the north, and he is facing off against Envy and the RHM and the 140 and the CS chasing as well. So for Vulgus, this is the start that they were looking for. They have another K91 isolated, and this middle push has actually paid off pretty well. Nice dividend coming out of that. The CS63, you can see him relocate now towards Jordan, who's just pushing for MV. MV a little bit premature there. It's going to take one, maybe two more shots from this K91.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of looked like Vulgus were kind of folding under no pressure, leaving that cap. But you can see here, Mares joins MV and they take out Jordan together. And now Vulgus are really in a commanding position in this game. 1k HP advantage, 2 tank advantage. They've got Lotus kind of boxed into this area. The strike has been taken by the M5Y, but it's not looking great for Lotus at this point. And Vulgus need to secure this game, not panic, not overdo it, and just kind of secure those kills.
Garva gets a free shot on Twist, who manages to miss his, and then takes one more from Ola as well. So Cole's still sitting there with the Miffy on the K-line, but that's 2,700 locked HP just overlooking, and we know it's not a carry tank, right? It just kind of sits and hold down and farms, but the surround is pretty significant because Tuka and Botsik in the base now getting pressured by the 140 and the BZ. The strike will be retaken by Envy, will help on towards those two as well, and Tuka cannot really face off against two.
No, he doesn't have that hold down potential. He does have the DPM, but Danny can kind of trade him 1-for-1. And right now things are just really not looking good for Lotus. I mean, they have that M5Y, it has most of the HP, but it's completely out of the game right now, and he's kind of going on an adventure on the K-line. Tuka getting absolutely crossfired. All to hell. Good God, he's just deleted there, and Danny's definitely going to make that kill. And after that, there's really no way back for Lotus. There's no real positions.
Bad strike.
Nothing going for them.
Bad strike on 2K, but Carva should have an angle onto the back of the C50M as well. That's one of the things you can do from the middle, of course. If Carva peeks against the outside there, which is where he's going. Another strike missed on 2K. He's trying to do what he can, at least in that E50M. Carva missing as well. So 2K getting a few more shots in than you would have imagined. This all comes to the back of a wasted strike by MV in the RHM. And now 2K is like, okay, I'm still alive, I'm still kicking, I'm gonna do what I can. Hits one more, and MV, who shoots HE, doesn't get the kill either on 2K. Sokol will die, but the closing moments for Vulgus, it's not as clean as you would have hoped, but the initial advantage they made is almost impossible to lose with. Their tanks are going low, but so far they've got all 7 still alive. And 2K and Botsik, the last 2 standing. Maybe this strike will hit 2K. No, he dodges another one.
Yeah, I thought Tuka might actually live to the next Sun River there, but I mean, it was a bit messy, but it's kind of difficult to argue with a 7-0 scoreline. A nice opener by Vulgus. Like, I felt leaving the cap was a bit premature. I think they almost folded under no pressure, but it worked out. They got that initial K91 advantage, and they never let it slip. This was nice by Vulgus. It was decisive. They literally took the game by the throat and never let go.
Maybe Tarek's a bit slow on bailing out of the mid position in the K91. Then, of course, you know, he crashes, but it doesn't matter. He'd be a one-shot. Danny would chase him anyway, so let's say he does one more shot of damage in that game if he doesn't end up crashing. And then afterwards, the unforced error, you know, Jordan pushing through the north, tries to do something, but solo pushing north in a K91.
Yeah, it was a bold play there, but I mean, it was nice. I'd say slow by Lotus, but nice and decisive by Vulgus, taking the fight to the enemy. And yeah, you're completely right that the K91 should not get caught there at all. Like, Toxic should not get caught. He should make it out, at least into the buildings of the riverbed, and the damage reflects this. I mean, but still, not bad damage, though, on Lotus' side. Rhymmetal 5k, 2
No, I mean,
5k.
basically the entire team of Vulgus was one shot, right? So.
Well, yeah. This is also true. But, I mean, that's a skill in of itself, right? Keep those one-shots alive.
Sure.
In the game.
Sure, but they gotta be careful with, like, those, how to say, closing out the game, right?
Yeah, Tuka should have died.
The strike, there's no pressure on Envy. I think he was the one with the strike too. The E50M is not fast enough to drive out of it. You know, he has to be full speed to dodge it. So you put it on the center, he dies.
Yeah.
There's no need to try and overcompensate for it. And then you see the teammates are trying to recover. Bad peak, another bad peak, minus 2.5k HP for it. In a closer round, those kind of stuff can matter. In this case, they were so far ahead that it's impossible to recover.
Yeah, definitely true. But still, you've got to praise them for it. 1-0 scoreline. I mean, this is their second match win in the entire OLS season so far. So you've got to give credit where credit's due. They didn't let it slip, you know.
It's good for my prediction.
It's bad for mine.
It is.
But
it's great when
we'll
it starts
see.
off with them winning the first round, right?
Yeah, well, no, that's fine. Yeah, even if Vulgus win the match and you get 2 points, I get 1 point, we're drawing. So I'm winning.
Yes, I came back. I was like 2 points behind, and then last play I got one closer, and now I'm even with Kehan again, as expected. Ahead of Moff, also as expected.
I mean, is being equal on points with Kehan and Moff really an achievement?
I mean, with Moff, it's Moff is never that great at the prediction game. Kehan is, he won that one season, so
At one time.
yeah.
I'm coming in here strong. I'm intending to win this season.
Usually,
I need bragging rights.
Usually, phase 2 is the one where it's a lot harder to predict who's gonna win, though, because you have those 6 teams where you're like, okay, usually the 6th team is like, they'll probably end up losing most of their matches, but the other 5, you can never be sure. That's the downside. Lotus now coming from the west, very aggressive lineup in a way. STRV 50 Ms times 4 BZ and an IHM.
Vulgus 1 BZ, 1 Type 5, a Bat, an E50M, K91 140, and an RHM. Quite a very slow lineup. I'm surprised with the Type 5 gets changed.
I mean,
so
I'd be
not
really
like that.
surprised for a Type 5 on center. It's just too awkward to play.
Yeah, it's too big and there's not enough. Types want buildings that can't be destroyed,
Yeah,
So-
it just sticks out too much as well. It's like,
Yeah. But Lotus lineup, that kind of tells a K-line push, no? If you take this many 50Ms normally.
that's like Cashback, right? They also play heavy K-line around it. We saw them dismantle CTR with this kind of K-line play later on with the light against the middle. So yeah, you can push with it, you can re-push, but you can also start slow with it and then just find an angle to push on. That's the strength of the E50M.
There's a strength, but it's a nice slow opening by Vulgus. They're taking no risks. K91 and the 50M in the base. Lotus are taking the long way up to the north. I think we're gonna have to settle in for this game. It's gonna take some time, but David does take the first shot. Jordan tries to return the favor, but no success, and it's a nice position by MV. Gets good info, basically a perma spot on David, but very slow opener. Feel almost like Lotus was shocked, and they're anticipating some more aggressive play.
I think
if you take this very slow.
I think if you're MV here, you just could take the strike when you could. Well, when you still could, Now it's getting a bit late. You can understand he's worried about any possibility.
And he has
though.
no support behind him at all. So,
I mean,
it is a risk.
Liberty would have taken that strike. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah, but Liberty is Liberty. That's definitely a different caliber, maybe. You take those risks.
He gets the info now, though, on the RHM, on the SRV. So they know 4 out of the 7 tanks.
Yeah, I think the STRV was known about before. I think he shot the 140 in the middle, but didn't connect. But yeah, Vulgus making the rotation. K91, a little bit awkward in these high positions with the rear turret and gun depression, but the 50M and Batcha can perform in this mountainous terrain.
Sam getting spotted out. So it's a trade-off there. 2K versus Sam. So far Sam ahead. Twist coming in. Sokol coming in. More coming in as well, which I think is the important factor. Botsik with the RHM.
The whole team.
Yeah, Botsik unspotted. David also seems to be unspotted crossing over here. And Ola could be in for a nasty surprise when those E50Ms decide to press W. There's a 3-man hit squad from them in this area. But I think Ola right now bailing out of the position. Spots out Darksik. Will let a shot go. Twist now coming in as well. Ola on the run. He's actually holding position. That means he's going to take at least 2 shots, maybe even 3 from Tarks for running away.
Yeah, Ollie leaving a little bit late, but it's not that bad. Track, see if he gets retracked. No, he doesn't. Danny coming in to shield his teammates, but I'm not sure this is the play you want to make. These are E50Ms. So much DPM in that. Like, Danny will trade initially quite well, but the moment Sokol and David come in, it's going to be all over. MV is not back up enough.
MV is here up in the light as well. Danny now forced to run in that batch of 25T. Oli will make it out. MV will probably make it out as well. But the question is, how much damage do they take? Sem, he's going to be left dead in the water, stranded. He's going to try and get some shots out, backing off the Belgian champ there, tanking it down. A few bounces.
Belgian champ.
That's
his new name.
Yeah, something like that. You know, we got to hype it up. A good shot from the SCRV coming out. 541 towards Starks. Ideal target as well. Dropping him low. Him or a twist would have been great. And yeah, for Vulgus to re-engage with the bat shot, I wouldn't say it was a good one. Koenig there committing on towards the middle strike. Can he take this for free? Yeah, he can. So double strike at least being taken by Vulgus. It's something.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a net positive of Vulgus, but if they have a small window where they can be decisive and take good map control, and you can see this from Garva right now, it's a bit risky for him to take this position. But if he can spot rotations and kind of sandwich Lotus into this corner, they can make losing Sam worth it. Like you see here, Tuka now taking damage on the crossing.
Take one more.
They're boxed in right now.
Maresh misses that one, but Tuka, yeah, crosses out in the open. Unforced error, though, to take the quick route like that, right? He could have just went wide.
True, but Lotus are on a timer right now. If they want to try and regain some map control, the longer they stay up in that corner, the quicker that Vulgus are one going to take the strikes and two going to take the map control.
Triple strike for Vulgus now.
Yeah.
With the other strike coming off of cooldown in 30 seconds, Garva cannot take it because he already has one, so he would need to use it. So they would need to send somebody else to take, which is a bit risky, of course.
But right now, we need to see if MV makes that kind of Liberty-style play where he spots that one-line crossing. Because right now, you see, like, Lotus only have about 30% map control. They don't have any K-line presence. They have no strikes at all. And they won't be able to get any more.
Important. MV touches the cap slightly. Generates a few points because of that as well. Gets enough for a plane. That's always important for the light.
Yeah. MV in a little bit of an obvious position, but
Botsig.
It is a classic. And Botsig will know.
Botsig does have a plane available. I don't think MV can sit there. I think you gotta bail out of that position. He instantly gets blinded, which is honestly better than getting planed out by Botsig. Takes another one. We'll take one more from the STRV as well. This routes of running so far, not ideal from both teams.
No, it's small.
But now we gotta watch out.
Mistakes.
Look at the info tower. Info tower is being taken. They're going to try and get Twist or Tarks out of the game.
Yeah, I feel that taking that info tower was unnecessary. Koenig is going to take so much damage for that. It's really unnecessary to do this.
Can they get the strikes on Tarks? One misses. Second one hits. So two of them missed, I think.
Yeah, so that's not a net positive trade, especially with the amount of HP that Koenig lost.
Yeah, no.
And all the HP that MV lost. But, I mean, MV will take a strike. Danny will probably take a strike. But I feel MV needs to be more useful here. Because I think Danny is hesitant to take that K-line strike because he doesn't know if any tanks cross the one line.
Botsig will go sit in front of MB by the looks of things. He's in a bush.
I feel right now, Vulgus' biggest enemy is themselves right now.
Well,
like, yes, they lost Sam in that north, but they had an opportunity to lock Lotus into this corner. And they just haven't taken it. They've wasted a bunch of strikes. Koenig down to 600 HP. I feel like they've let a bad situation that could have been turned into a good one spiral into a disaster.
Well, they don't have another opportunity to take the info tower. So Tarks and Twist right now are alrightly positioned because there's just no room for an info tower to be taken. The BZ is trying to take back north, which is Garva, but that's a long road back into those positions. That could get punished as well along the way. That's more damage dealt for Lotus, but no, it took up back enough. So Garva will use his boosters. I don't think he has many left at this point.
No, and it's 3 minutes as well. Like, what do you get for taking A0? By the time he gets there in an unboosted BZ, it's going to be about almost a minute left. Because the thing is so slow, and I don't know, this is quite disappointing for Vulgus. They really had an opportunity to turn this into a net positive, and they just haven't taken it.
MV uses the plane, though, on Botsig where he used to be, but he ends up missing that one. Botsig hit the timing, and now we can see Lotus fully driving back towards 1-2 line.
Yeah, it's important to see if MV gets this info. Like, he needs to be able to see Botsig and Sokol to let them know that a rotation has been made. If not, he's gonna get caught here.
Oh, the timing is off. The timing is off. His timing is off. He spots out Jordan again, but he doesn't know about Botsig. He still doesn't spot anything. He's about to meet Botsig head on. They slip past MV. Botsic comes around the corner. Dani will give a shot, maybe even give two, but Sokol is there already as well. The strike gets used on towards Botsic. Sokol coming in. Good strike, actually. Hits on two, but Envy dead in the water. He's out. He's not making it out of this one. The SRV might get a shot or two, and Envy realizes this as well. That is bad from Vulgus.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit unlucky timing, but I mean, it's kind of... They were already in a problem, now it's even worse. Like, now the map control of K-Line has been retaken, Maresh is forced to run, the Batchat is forced to run, 1.5 minutes remaining. And even if Vulgus make 2 extra kills and create kill parity, Lotus have dealt far more HP. Oh, maybe, actually. Lotus have a lot of 50Ms, but I still think they'll have dealt more HP with a 3k difference.
Oh, for sure, but it's still, Vulgus needs to get 2 kills somehow. It's not happening in a minute, I would say. And Garva is just kind of like a bolt now.
I mean, if Ollie can take the strike, he can make the kill on Toxic, but after that, I don't see Twist dying or any of the others. Maybe, actually. If Kunik plays like a god.
Kunik gets the first on Twist. Twist, however, retaliates in the strike. Not going to be wasted. Straight on top of Kunik. He's dead.
Yeah, nice play by Lotus here. Not letting it slip. They managed to recover from that poor positional play, and it's a nice end game by Lotus. I mean, Vulgus are making a lot of mistakes. You can really see it. But still, Lotus are not letting it slip. They're not making the mistakes. They're not throwing HP so unnecessarily, apart from Tuka making that poor crossing. Twist does go down, but it doesn't make a difference at this point. They're even sending in the STRV. He's been promoted to Assault Tank Destroyer.
I mean, all
268-103B.
Without any planes, without... Oof, all of there quickly realizing that where the rest of the Lotus team is. No surprise there.
HP for info.
Yeah, well, it's going to be Lotus to lock in the second round, playing around that kill advantage and doing a good job at it.
Yeah, but I still do feel Vulgus had an opportunity to lock them in this corner. If they had kind of taken G1 and also maybe had the BZ in the lower riverbed, I feel like there was a moment you could lock them in a 25% map control, like kind of square.
I feel like the BZ has to be the one boosting into the base, and you need to get the STRV on the dunes behind him, because the BZ is the only thing that can hold the base. Anything else, they don't have the tanks for it. Like,
I'm not saying hold the base. I'm just saying you go to the, you know where in randoms they have the balcony.
Yeah. But like, what I imagine when you like actually want to lock them into the base is you have those strike advantages, right? Yeah. The BZ boosts into the base, the STRV parks on the hill behind him in the far back, so he covers the overpeak on the one line, and if they group up to try and kill the BZ, you've got triple strike against it.
Yeah, true. But either way, it could work. Like, but I feel like my route where you take the balcony position in randoms and have someone in the dry riverbed it's a little bit safer. You're not putting your hands so
yeah,
deep
sure.
into
But the problem is to generate a kill on the low HPs, because you have to generate a kill, and we saw that the info tower is not something you can take if they.
Yeah, but you are getting so many strikes at that point. Like, you can literally just cycle strikes.
Sure,
like,
but like,
and apply cap pressure even.
Sure, the problem is just that it's dark and twist low HPs, and if you can't spot them, it becomes a problem.
Then you apply cap pressure. You just put one on the cap, and they have no strikes to generate. But either way, I mean, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Like, at the end of the day, we're here, and now we move on to Cliff.
Yeah, the second round was... I mean, even if Envy spots them repushing, they don't have any forces to hold this off either way. They also didn't spot the BZ crossing back towards the north at any given point. And then the Dani repush was... I mean, there's no way Tarx is pushing forward by himself.
No, not at all.
And they knew that there was at least double E50M, so... even if you... when there's one with Tarx, you imagine there's at least 2 more. And you're not winning that fight with K91 and Bat and E50M versus double E50M.
Yeah, I feel like as well, like if someone's going to sacrifice in that north, it should probably be the K91. Like, I think you'd prefer to have an E50M in a late game situation than a K91, but I mean, it's just one of those things where small micro mistakes can make a big difference in the late game. And
I mean, the way it looked is, you know, they wanted to run away. Lani said, no, let's fight this. So they decided to fight, and then they were like, oh.
There's 2 more E50Ms and a BZ.
Yeah, it's like the Batchat wants to engage, but it was a bad one. And honestly, it would have been pretty good for them if they backed off straight, because they had the STRV overlooking. Would just be a reset. They go back towards the strikes. They're not down any guns. They take back the position to spot the crossing.
it would have been the same as last game, but with an extra tank. And
Yeah.
if that happens, I think they win it.
Yeah, they would have a lot of control over the rotations. So,
But thank God for my prediction, they didn't do that. So now we go into Cliff. What do you think about Cliff? About for these two teams?
I can feel one of them play with the 114. I don't know why.
I'm not a fan of that tank. I played it in randoms for the first time yesterday, actually, because
I don't like it in
get a feel
randoms.
for it. No, it's a slow.
I wouldn't even play it in randoms. I feel like it's like a boat, and the gun, the gun is really not that nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say a barn.
Yeah,
It really feels like a 4005 with like 10 millimeters extra armor and not even a very good gun, and it's so slow.
I would only play it in Onslaught then because the ability is nutty at least. You know, like
Yeah, but even then, the grill is better. You're quicker. You have higher alpha. I just feel like a 114 is just not a good tank, actually.
no 114s here though. Looking for a fight. Vulgus 5 BZs, a CS, and a 140.
Yeah, quite an aggressive one. And Lotus, triple BZ, double CS, 50M, and a 140 as well. So it looks like both teams might be going for a brawl in the middle, but with Lotus taking a little bit more wide positions for crossfire with those CSs.
It's a battle versus the meat versus the more higher mobility, right? If the PCs get a good engagement from Vulgus though, that ball is pretty hard to stop usually.
Yeah, but having minimal rotational tanks, I mean, Vulgus are probably going to go into the middle, and then they've got to kind of pull the trigger and go in one of two directions, either over the mid or to the donut, because if not, they're just going to sit there and just kind of get slowly deleted. Like the BZs will heal themselves in a circle, but it doesn't last forever.
Now, in the beginning, 6 tanks up for Lotus versus 7 from Vulgus. The 50M on the 1-2 line may just decide to commit in straight. He is also doing that for Lotus, so respecting Vulgus being fully in the middle. And Vulgus is now crossing over with 4 BZs towards 1-2. It's a slight over commitment. They know that there's double CS on the hill. Kunik might go on towards the hill as well. The BZ of Jordan might, however, counter boost and help against Ola, just to make sure they have the hill securely locked down. That's exactly what's happening as well. The BZ is now covering, but 4 BZs across is a lot.
Yeah, they didn't spot Sokol and David going into the middle in the beginning, so I think they thought they had that Lotus had more on 1-2 than
Yeah, they're crossing back more now.
Yeah, back and back again. It's all strikes being used, but Jordan on the hill, I think it's a bit much, but it is quite nice to have that BZ on the hill that can bully tanks down. Like you see, like Ollie has no answer for this one.
MV comes up.
MV.
Yeah, MV comes up in the VZ. Jordan, does he make it back? No, he doesn't. MV finds the shot. Dark's now wanting to overpeak as well. They know that they still have an overmatch here. An isolation between All and MV. The strike comes out. It's a mini strike. It will actually completely miss. Not a good strike, to be honest.
Yeah, quite surprised Vulgus haven't used that big strike. Oh, well, as I say that. But Sem coming up there. Oh, this hill is getting very congested. Garva, Sem, that was... Ooh, those small strikes. They don't do that much damage, but when it's on 4 people, it's a lot.
Tuka out of
You can
position.
see now MV bullying Tuka.
He needs some support though, because the BC doesn't have any DPM, so Sem now has to come up as well, or Garva from the side, and Vulgus has done a good job at reinforcing this hill with the numbers. MV far forward needs Sem to be with him, cannot allow his teammate to get focused out for no reason. Sokol coming around the corner, Sem now shielding. Sokol wastes a shot with his BZ, so Tuka has to make it happen, and for that Tuka will fall. Now 3 tanks on the hill for Lotus, the HP and heavily in Vulgus' favor as well. A BZ boosting across towards D2 as well, locks that back on the hill under crossfire, and so far Lotus needs to answer 5-on-5. Another good mini strike though, bringing the HP closer. Danny wants Botsick. Kunik right now kind of useless in the middle.
Yeah, it's not great. It's kind of like you just keep reinforcing the hill. Both teams just sending maximum forces up there, but at the end of the day, Lotus is the king right now. The Sokol is trying to peek, trying to kill Sam. Sokol can't manage it, gives one to Garva, but Lotus have that tank around the hill. Sam gets eliminated. Now it's just Garva all by his lonesome, and Sokol and David have more than enough HP to take out this lone BZ. No connection, but Toxic should finish it. Now we're in this awkward situation.
The problem there is
Lotus...
Sam doesn't get to do his shot either, you know, like he's hiding so much, he doesn't get to shoot. Botsick dies to the strike. So there's that. Twist is a one-shot as well. So there's something... But the thing is, Marash has so much HP.
Yeah, and that HP is just not contributing right now. Like, and there's no real way for him to contribute.
I think
mean,
they got a
boost into the middle, but then what?
You know what's the downside here? Like, look at Twist's HP.
Yeah, almost one-strikeable.
Just outside of the ring. I mean, they don't have a CS. David is now starting to hunt. Ooh, misses on Kunik. Kunik is forced out of there. Twist misses as well, and Kunik now needing to get out of there. It's a bit lucky that the double 140 misses. Well, the second one doesn't miss. Sokol doesn't miss either, and Kunik seems to be in deep trouble. One more shot from Twist does find the kill. And now Danny and Maris, the last two standing. It looked good there for a while for Vulgus again, but then you had Danny and this 140 kind of locked down by this one-shot E50M, letting their hill people, or the hill people died because of it, and then of course Maris with a ton of HP on 1-2.
Yeah, I mean, this hill engagement, the thing is that Lotus do have the better side of the hill. You can pull back onto those kind of ridges on the background. You can't really do that on Vulgus' side. You can only really stay on the ramp, and I think that and a little bit of player skill kind of made the difference here. I think Lotus did play a bit better with their focus fire. I think Sem should have shielded Envy on the hill. I think Garva didn't get his HP in enough, and it was kind of an equal fight on the hill, but Lotus just inched it out. And because they have this hill in the late game, it allows them to have a scoreline that's not really representative of how the battle went, but still a good scoreline in terms of HP, I mean.
2-1 there for Lotus. Some good mini strikes coming out from them as well. Seem to be a bit more efficient with their strike usage compared to Vulgus. Another strike missed. I think it was a big strike from the CS63. Those small stuff can add up. For Vulgus, I really thought, you know, like maybe if the 140s in support, then who knows what could happen. But they're both like kind of watching Botsik, who's 400 HP, and then Marash, he went to D2, but D2 is a factor that only plays in a little bit of time, right? And 3000 HP locked out of the fight. He does do, you know, 4.6, but still 1.3k of that is strike, and having a BZ with almost full HP 500 meters away.
You can see the strike damage though, like even though both teams had one big strike, I mean, I think Twist got one as well, an extra. Like you can see the strike damage is so much higher. Like Tuka just with mini strikes 1300. That's a lot. Same with Toxic 850. Like I think also these CS small strikes did actually make a difference. Like Marash only 1301, but just inched it out. Like this game I think was a lot closer than it felt in the late game. This hill could have really gone either way with just some small micro plays.
Sam not getting off a last shot either. You know, sometimes it's better just to make sure you hit your last shot than to try and stay alive. It's more efficient and make a shield for your player, or the other way around. You know, like sometimes it's like you want to shield the one shot, but realistically just let the one shot die so the guy behind has a better position, and at least do your shot before dying.
Yeah, he needs to do a shot there. But I think at that point, I don't think it makes a difference. I think Sam does that last shot, but I think the game ends in the same way. I think what was decisive was this hill engagement where both teams kept reinforcing, and Lotus having a little bit the better side of the hill because you can pull back, and also a bit of better team play. I'd say better focus fire, MV getting focused out, Sam not being able to shield him, Garva not really being able to assist from the side, I think made the decisive difference here.
Second round of Cliff. Your prediction is back on the board, Banter. How does it feel?
It feels absolutely fantastic, honestly. Warm feeling inside.
Warm and fuzzy feeling. Cliff is technically a bit of a coin flip, though. If both teams decide to play aggressive, the opening matters a lot. And, you know, the opening there for Vulgus was also not great, sending 4 BZs across a bit too much.
Yeah, I mean, it was based on a lack of info, though. I think they didn't see the 2 BZs in the middle. They thought they would have been on 1-2, so they wanted to reinforce 1-2 with a lot, but then got that in, they pulled them back, and it just... Yeah, I don't think that was decisive. They crossed with 4, they crossed back with 2. The ones who came back didn't take any damage for it, and the one that took damage on the way would have taken that damage no matter what happened, so... Yeah.
Lineups coming out again, both teams going very aggressive, and it's not completely mirror. BZs are 1 CS each, or 140 versus 140, and the difference there, Lotus with a secondary CS, where Vulgus has the IHM, so they should be able to generate some pretty good info.
Yeah, I mean, Lotus 4 BZs, the double CS and the 140. it's going to be there. This time they're going for that brawly lineup, but still having those CSs with the small strikes is very good. Both teams going for quite a similar lineup, just that light. That's going to get them that initial info.
So the plane hits on 7. Perfect info, so Vulgus knows exactly what's happening. Light going around the hill. CS63 going around the hill as well. Jordan crossing over towards 1-2 line. MV replaning the bulk. The CS crossing over gets spotted. Botsic going towards the hill gets spotted as well. And Vulgus will just quietly approach the middle, but not really interested in fighting for it at this moment in time. They're waiting for the CS63 to go all the way around the hill, but he has to be careful because he's running into that Object 140 that's left lingering there for the side of Vulgus.
Yeah, Botsic not taking nearly enough damage to go up this hill. One shot from a 140, no BZ shots taken, so King of the Hill by Lotus, and Vulgus are making that play around the hill. Looks like they do want to overpush this mid, and we're going to need to see if they can make something work, but Toxic reacting by pushing in. It kind of feels like what Vulgus want, but the strike damage is absolutely brutal, and the 140 in the base is not hitting his shots right now.
Kunik is going to have to put a big game out. Somehow Sem boosting up. Garva blocking. Dani is basically dead already in that BZ75. Garva on the top ramp, not getting crossfire by the 140 as well. Tarks in the BZ, finds Dani. Garva on the way down, getting tracked as well. Ola now getting chased by Twist, and Sem will block David, who should fall against Kunik and Envy. Can they re-establish a crossfire? Tarks down, David down, and the CS63 from 1-2 line is peeking out as well. 2000 HP separation. Tuka's in a bit of no man's land as well in that BZ, but they want to get Marash out. Ola is dead against Twist, but he does find Botsic with the strike. That's pretty important as well. It was on top of the hill, so one more kill for Ola. The HP is not looking great, but like I said, Tuka is not in the greatest of positions himself in that BZ75.
No, he's not. Takes a from the hill as well, and we need to see. The Rheinmetall is putting in shots. If he can give one more, Marash can finish. And maybe we can see, but a lot of this is going to depend on what's going to happen on the hill. If Lotus can be king of the hill here, Marash going down to a one-shot, especially one-shot for those strikes. Maybe Jordan's going to get the small strike from the CS and finish him off. And as the dust settles, it's still Lotus in the driving position here.
Oh, the strike coming out. It will be enough. Marash is going to die. That one extra shot taken from Marash for no reason. Let's put it that way. Will
no reason.
End up making him fall, but still, all of the HP on the light tank, it was never a great situation either way.
But it's kind of, it almost felt like this is what Vulgus would have wanted. The CS goes around the hill, so they overpush into Vulgus, and Vulgus do have those better positions, the 140 in the back. I feel this should have gone better for Vulgus than what it did. They have the better side of the mid, the more defensible side of the mid, and just couldn't really make it work. But yeah, at the end of the day, Daki, my prediction is correct, so
yeah, 3-1 for...
I'm incredibly happy.
Well, it is what it is, right? I think there's a match later that is going to be like the real decider anyways for that. Because the opinions were split. I think it was W versus Mafia, right? Where people are split.
Well, W Mafia was yesterday, and you got the prediction right. I got the prediction wrong.
No, there was a match later where I think we were split across. I'm trying to remember which one.
It wasn't W Mafia.
Let me
have a look. I've got it up. Yeah, hit.
Oh, Mafia Cashback. Mafia Cashback.
Yeah. Because me and you both went for 3-1.
Oh, yeah, no, it's me and Phil that have a different opinion on that one.
Yeah, so that doesn't matter.
And then later on, there's the CTR hit and run match as well.
Yeah. And
the W weekend one as well. You know, there's that. That could be enough. We'll see. The real weird thing is, right, the 140 is back in the base when the CS63 is pushing around the hill into the houses.
Yeah, but I mean, you can see the damage. Like, Kunik had a lot of time to shoot, and I saw at least 1 or 2 missed shots. I mean, it's a 140, it's low alpha, high reload, so it's not devastating, but I think it does make a difference. Because then, like, maybe
he's definitely missing.
Maraj doesn't die.
He's definitely missing out on some shots because he's in the base. For the start of the fight, he's in the base, so he's losing.
But he does have shots from the base. He shot at the ramp.
Yeah. But once he drives down, he doesn't anymore. So he loses like at least, I don't know, 10 seconds driving back up the slope. You know, from the base all the way back up to start shooting. Those are some crucial shots.
Yeah, definitely. and it can make a big difference. But I feel that Vulgus should do better. Like, they're being pushed into, and when you're getting pushed into, you always get that first shot. You can pull back behind a ridge for a bit of safety, to have the reload and the DPM advantage, and it's kind of 4-on-4 pushing on. I feel that Vulgus should be in a much bigger advantage than they actually were.
When they get pushed, yeah, I figured they should be as well, but it is what it is. This also confirms a few things for us. The first thing it confirms is that Vulgus will sadly not be able to make it through stage 2, and that Lotus is going to be waiting to see what Weekend is going to be doing later on as well, to see if they're confirmed into stage 2 as well. So big move by Lotus, big points as well. We will continue with the action, but before that, we'll take it away with some replays.
Gifts, they're for dreamers. Deals, take the shot.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back once more to the Surfshark Onslaught Legend Series Season 5. We are possibly looking at, in terms of competitiveness, match of the day. Mafia taking on Cashback.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's going to be a good one, especially after Mafia's solid performance the last playday. Absolutely destroying W, and Cashback not performing to the level, the expected level, but still doing not bad themselves. So this is definitely going to be one to watch.
I mean, Cashback's at 10 points right now, shared with Mafia and Hit and Run. The thing is that this will again create a little bit of a separation on those top 3 positions. Whoever wins this will, together with most likely Hit and Run. Let's not sell it before it's actually done. CTR has a chance, but we're predicting Hit and Run to come out ahead in that one, right? So again, that could.
But most of Cashback's points have come from the lower teams.
Yeah.
If I'm correct with that. So
I need to see again. They lost against W. They
beat Weekend.
They beat Lotus. They
lost against W.
So they lost on the first play day against W in 3-2. They had 2-0. Then W came back. Then they won against Weekend 3-1. Then they beat Vulgus, and then they played CTR. So they've had all of their weaker opponents. So they have Mafia, Hit and Run, and Lotus.
Yeah. So. No, they haven't played Hit and Run.
No, they haven't. So
they played Weekend, Lotus, Vulgus, and W. And W are the highest seeded team they've played. They've lost.
And Mafia hasn't played Hit and Run either yet, though. That's for the last match. They might actually decide who comes out the victorious out of stage 1.
Yeah.
Small things, you know. But not that it matters that much, but it's all extra points going into stage 2 because we know it gets a lot tougher in stage 2, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. There's less easy to predict what the points are going to be, and no one's weak in stage 2, you know? There's no new blood.
Predictions get harder as well because it's best of 7s.
Yeah, that's why I'm getting my advantage now.
But it's usually like the playoffs really decides the prediction game. It's usually within like a few points, and then the playoffs happen, and it's like, well,
there it goes.
Yeah, well, last season you got like Weekend beating Cashback, which basically nobody predicted. So
yeah, but that was I think an outlier really, especially with their.
I mean,
they went for that aggressive style, and it just kind of worked. It just kept working.
You also have like the 2 seasons before you have W running it down. And the season before they run it down the lower bracket. Hard to predict those kind of things.
But yeah, looking at the maps, Mafia choosing Himmels, Cashback choosing Cliff, and the decider being Sand River. What's your opinion on these map picks?
I think the Himmels could be really interesting because right now neither of the 2 teams strikes me as hyper aggressive teams. Neither Mafia nor Cashback are really teams that go all out in the beginning. Cashback are kind of holding back a bit. So Himmels and Cliff are 2 of those maps where you technically see that kind of gameplay of hyper aggression, right, early on. So I don't know how much well suited it is for either of those 2, which means it might be an interesting one. They may not play like we predict.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised though. I'm surprised Himmels is picked by Mafia, and I'm surprised Ensk is banned by Cashback. I feel like the Ukrainian teams, especially when they came over from the CIS server, Himmels and Ensk were kind of their playgrounds. I remember when I was leading teams, they wanted me to do the tiebreaker map as just Himmels, because those Eastern European teams tend to be very, very strong on Himmels. So I'm quite surprised that Mafia have taken this one.
I would assume they normally would play a slow, but maybe they got something cooking on Himmels. You know, you can play around the hill as well, although it's not the easiest way to play it with the CS, even Fujbis, etc. I somehow don't think we're going to get to see both teams like drive straight out 1-2 line and try to fight it out.
No, I think both these teams are going to go for mid brawls, maybe with Foshes, E4s. I don't see a 1-2 line split or what we've seen previously, where one team takes the 1-2, one team takes the hill, and we have like this kind of awkward slow game. I think there will be a fight here in the middle. That's my prediction anyway.
Depends on what meta we're going to see. I don't know. Every time I look at Mafia, they just strike me as a team that would rather play 10 minutes than 3 minutes. You know, if they can help it.
That's also true, but they're good at it. That's the thing you can see. There's no Mafia. They're so similar to Hit and Run. It's just so rarely making mistakes. But looking at the predictions, it's where boys become men, and Phil gains some points. He's gone for a 3-2 scoreline of Cashback to win it. I went 3-2. God.
The sheet says 3-1. Maybe you changed it late?
No, I didn't. So either way, if it's 3-1 or 3-2, I get the points. Let's make that deal.
Nah, I don't think so. We can check the history on the sheet, and we go whatever it says there, you know.
Okay, fine.
3-1. Yeah, I mean, I also just feel like Mafia giving a lot of the credit still towards them because they did win the 2 biggest tournaments in recent memory.
Yeah, but as well, it's like W. It could be quite funny actually. W beat Cashback 3-0. Mafia beat W 3-0.
No, W beat Cashback 3-2.
Oh, 3-2. Sorry. Oh yeah,
it was the comeback where Cashback had a 2-0 lead against W and then lost 3-2.
Yeah.
It was tough.
Yeah, it's the standard W, you know, the full reverse sweep. Seems to be their order of the day every time. But it'd be quite interesting if Cashback beat Mafia, because then we have parity. All 3 teams have beat each other, but right now it does just feel like Mafia is stronger. Even though they have struggled against some of the weaker teams.
I'm just curious to see what kind of lineups we're going to get. It kind of tells the name of the game. If there's a CS, if it's Bliskavitzes, Fojbs, BZs, kind of, or E4s. If it's E4s, we'll definitely see some slower style.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking, I'm just, you know, chewing it over in my head who's going to take what, and I'm now starting to rethink my answer of a mid-brawl, especially with Mafia. I feel maybe it's going to be more E4s the order of the day, and Cashback are going to make an aggressive play. I mean, it's hard to predict because they could both do it, but again, like you said, it's all about lineups on this map, especially Himmels, where depending on the lineup, you'll know the setup.
Well, lineups, Cashback, double BZ, an I7, a 140 triple. No, that's actually Mafia. Triple Bliskavice.
Yeah, going for that aggression, and Cashback, double BZ. Where are we? Double BZ, 2 CSs, and triple E4. Looks like Cashback want to actually play the slower lineup, and Mafia want to go for that aggressive play.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, well, Mafia has to. This lineup is, the way it looks, it's either straight down middle, but most of the time it's played around 1-2-3 line.
I think it could be Bliskavitzes in the middle with the triple heavy in the cap, potentially. Cashback trying to get those decaps with the strikes, but we'll need to see on their openings. Double CS going towards the hill, Akka towards the mid, and the rest to 1-2 line.
It's an 8-line push.
Slow opener.
It's an 8-line push for Mafia. See triple Bliska going there, so it's not really, it's not anything we predicted. Not middle, not cap, not 1-2 either.
You know, keep your enemy guessing, you know.
Akka could be in a lot of trouble though. They have that double tank going on the hill. If Yusek is allowed to take the information here, that could be huge. They're taking the information. They will know the double CS63 is on the hill. And how does Mafia react? I think they want to go for Akka off of this. And Akka now realizing there's Bliskavitzes behind him. He's going to have to sit in that window.
Yeah, I mean, he can live there for a little bit. The Bliskas are going to have to angle, and these E4s will go to the corner, try and punish them. But they're actually making the decision. They're going into 5-line safe. They can peek and shoot him from there. But YOLO takes massive damage on that crossing. Not sure that's the play.
Well, they're crossing through now. The Bliskavitzes are coming in. They're going to pass Akka altogether. Mafia kind of marching on to who knows where. They're pushing into the E4s. They made the call. They're going to stick with it as well. Orchek swinging around the corner. Rex Arcota getting chased by Akka already. Little trying to drive past anybody and everybody. Will he make it? No. Orchek will finish him off. Abilities being popped now. Juggernaut finally active for this Bliskavitzes. They've gotten the first kill. They need to keep that DPM rolling. Squeezy with the third buck. Don't worry. He is actually shooting towards the enemies. And now from 2 sides are being pincered. Aphrodite and Mindbreaker. They need to get the C4 out before he gets another shot. Conrad will be the one to do so. Akka, low DPM BZ, they're completely ignoring him. The strike coming out on towards the tanks from Cashback, and now they do find quite a lot of success for Mafia. 4 tanks left standing for Mafia, for Cashback, sorry. Mafia rolling back in on towards Brain Breaker, and they're still ignoring Aka. It's like he doesn't exist in their world. Conrad doesn't get rammed to death either. Profuse with the kill, and now they're going to go for Squeezy, probably in that E4. No, finally, they've decided that Aka is ready to go towards the grave, and Mafia, it looked a little sussy driving through, but they do make it work.
Yeah, they wanted to get out of that crossfire from the hill and just go straight into 5-line and make kills. Ignoring the BC was the correct play. Just ignore that low DPM tank, get away from those CSs on the hill, make them have to do the long march towards 1-2, and it's kind of a race against time, you know. Finish those E4s on the 1-2 before the CSs can come in. If you can't make the kills in time, then the CSs get in behind and they make those one-shot kills, but it did look dicey at one point, especially with how they just drove past Akka like he didn't even exist, but they made it work, and the scoreline's good. 5 tanks left alive, and it's a solid performance in a game that looked quite dicey at one point.
Slight desync between the BZs and the Blitzkas. They're boosting a little bit prematurely.
Too early.
From that information tower, and you understand why YOLO is driving forward. It looks weird, but YOLO is either getting owned by double CS63 from the hill, or he's taking the shots from the E4. So he has to go somewhere. He cannot sit, he cannot stay.
I do think, though, taking maybe... Because the CSs were split on the hill. I think they were focusing the Blitzkers. I feel taking 2k in the face or 1k from behind, I still prefer the 1k from behind, but at the end of the day, they win the game, so... But
I think if they wait 5 more seconds, they're all just driving and the CSs are shooting like once or twice, but not really able to focus that well. But of course, you know, this lineup from Mafia, it has so much DPM with the Bliskavitzes, right? And the big difference there as well, of course, which we haven't highlighted, is Profuse in the 140 does 4.7k damage. Not just that, there's a strike damage as well, 2 kills, and the Inspire, right? If you look at the Cashback lineup, no Inspire, and the E4 is not high DPM, the BZ is not high DPM, the CSs are fine, and neither is the BZ. So the 140 really helps this Mafia lineup as well to amplify the Bliskavitz's DPM even further.
Yeah, just that straight like buff is just so valuable in this type of setup, especially when you have a lineup of Bliskavitzes with that 10-second reload 800 alpha in close range. It's so valuable. Cashback just don't have the DPM to punish them on the way in. The CSs, they're pretty decent DPM, but they just can't punish those Blitzkers enough as they're running towards them too. They're the highest on damage, but it's simply not enough. And once you get in their faces with the Blitzkers, yeah, you take that initial damage, but if you don't lose too many kills early, like they kept YOLO alive, they kept the Blitzkers alive, the focus fire just wasn't there for Cashback, and they can make it work with the higher DPM. So it was a nice game by Mafia, actually.
Solid stuff. And they played a hyper-aggressive setup. And, you know, Cashback doing what we expected, very forced. They cannot handle the heat. They couldn't tank it.
No, it didn't. Their lineup didn't look great to receive this Mafia push. I think the BZs, the double CS is
they were very close though for Cashback. Like maybe even a bit too close, because to kill Akka, they would take a ton of damage from the CSs.
Well, they went close to try and shoot the Bliskavitzes who were shooting Akka, but then they just ignored Akka and went for the E4s. So the E4s had to try and like reverse out of there, but they just don't have the reverse speed, so they get kind of caught, and then you make initial kills and it kind of snowballs from there.
It's kind of a mistake for Cashback if you look back at it, because if they do stop to kill Akka, the CSs will get 3-4 shots each. Yeah,
but the thing is, like the Blitzkers went into 5-line. And in the 5-line, they're safe from the hill. So they didn't just want the Blitzkers to make to kill Akka for free from the 5-line. And then, I mean, sure, the Blitzkers would be kind of stuck there, but they don't want to give a free kill out, so they go close and they kind of get caught, you know?
Mafia is sticking true to it, though. 4 BZs, an IS-7, a 140, and a Bliskavitsa this time.
Yeah, Cashback, double BZ, T57 Heavy, 140, double Blitzker, and a Fosh B. I think Cashback's lineup is actually quite aggressive this time. I think Mafia's, it's aggressive to get into position, but there's no DPM there. Only Orzic and Profus in the 140.
Cashback does have that pretty significant burst, you know, with the double Blitzka as well, with the Fosh B, the T57. This time around, also the Inspire tank coming in for them.
Yeah. to buff those double Bliskavic's DPM even higher, but
technically,
see the
Mafia has better Inspire usage, right? Because 7 single shooters.
yeah. But well, still, the Inspire still helps to reload on your autoloaders, so every little helps. Especially on a Fosh B with such a long delayed reload.
Rexar taking one from Brainbreaker. They do arrive towards the middle. Little and Aka on the 8 line. Orchek is facing off against this. Aphrodite taking the mid as well. The Bliskavica of Orchek looking for the shot. Probably has a slim shot as well, but he doesn't want to waste it at this point. Bono peeking out. Taking one from Mindbreaker. And so far, Cashback with a pretty good setup against this.
Yeah, they're countering that initial aggression from Mafia. They learned from their mistakes and they took a more back position, but there's advantages and disadvantages to that. Now Kono gets the strike, they can maybe take that mid-strike, but it feels like a little bit of underconfidence from Cashback. They don't want to rush into things, they want to let Mafia push into them, make the crossfire angles. You can see the Bliskavica on the 8 line there. Kono does take one shot, but he does get the strike. Ooh, big one from Brainbreaker, but still worth it though, for that strike. You can do a lot with that strike.
Music relocating. And the BZ and Little's actually going towards the hill now.
You can fast forward 2 minutes.
Surprised Conrad hasn't tried to take the cap.
Yeah, he is. Looks like he is taking it now. Especially with... oh, guess not. That 140 is very scary, but... no strike on Cashback's side, so they wouldn't be able to get a decap on this if they wanted to. And the longer this game goes on, and Cashback get up that hill, the better it's going to be for them. So Mafia do need to kind of make a move at some point if they want to get something done.
I mean, Yusek taking back the 8 line. They're going to take the middle strike now as well. I'm just surprised Conrad hasn't taken the cap at all. I don't think there's anything stopping him from it.
Yeah, literally. Like, he would just get points on his ability and he'd be able to fight Squeezy on hold down while getting cap points. There's no negative for him to take it, but you see Kono reverse side scraping out, trying to get eyes on Liberty. Little now on the hill. He will have used most of his boost, gives one into the ass of Conrad, so now the info's there. And this kind of needs to be a trigger moment for Mafia. They have one full BZ out of game. They have to make a play.
Aka finds a shot in Yusek. Yolo taking some from Mindbreaker as well. Yusek taking another one now from this Bliskavica of Aphrodite, which is going to be the target for Mafia. They're down 4,000 HP, however. And Aphrodite finds a stunner on towards the back of Yusek, who wants to make a shot, but Aka already coming back in. And there's nobody stopping Aka from doing this, so he's just farming out a little bit in that Bliskavica. They want Aphrodite, but there's only 2 people shooting him. They're not getting the damage out whatsoever. Orchek trying to block for Aka to kill Yusek, but Mindbreaker will just kill Orchek instead. He will just elite the Bliskavica. Yusek falls nonetheless. The strike comes out, but it's all over for Mafia. Finally, they kill Aphrodite, but the hopes die with that, to be honest, because Rexar is dead, Yusek and Orchek was already fallen, and Cashback with his more passive approach, they just shut this down. Little is the undoing, and I still wonder why Conrad never took the cap.
Yeah, I mean, it's not decisive, but it is a mistake. I mean, you lose nothing for it. You just get ability gain and a little bit of pressure. Cashback have no strikes, so there's no decap, but this push, it just wasn't it. They wanted to make the play on Aphrodite, but some bounce shots, a good position by Aphrodite, and he just wasn't dying until the strike came in at the end, and it just wasn't the play for Mafia. I feel with their map control and with their strike control, they had an opportunity to apply more pressure through a single or double cap, and
I mean, they
just didn't.
They definitely had a minute and 40 seconds there. Or 2 minutes, 3 minutes even, for Conrad to put pressure on the cap and force a Cashback move earlier. Now Little just kind of took the hill on his slow move, and the moment he does that, they're like, oh, we gotta go.
Oops.
But they already took a decent amount of initial damage before that, though. And Cashback is just holding down those angles. They have Bliskas, they have 57. This time around, they're in good positions.
I mean, the damage they'd taken in the beginning, I mean, it wasn't decisive. I don't think it made that big a difference. They got the strike for the HP, the BZ traded on the 1 line, but it's a strange one by Mafia. It was kind of, we've seen this time and time again where teams get a positional advantage and then they kind of just sit because they think they're winning. But the moment the BZ went up the hill, it just collapsed for Mafia. It felt like they weren't even there. Their push was like a wet noodle. There was just nothing in it. So not great by Mafia. They took that good initial position. They had the strike, they had the cap under control, they had Cashback pushed into a corner, and they just did nothing with it. And that's not what you want to see.
Yeah, good stuff there from Cashback. So Himmel split 1-1 between these two. And that gives us Cliff coming up. And Cliff is honestly going to be very interesting between these teams that don't always lend themselves towards that super aggressive gameplay. So it's always interesting to see how they get forced to do it.
Yeah, because Cliff is one of those maps where you simply cannot sit back. You need those middle positions. You need the donut, the hill. So there's a slow game on Cliff, but it's not a sit back game on Cliff. You're still close to the opponent. So we'll need to see how they both want to play this. If they go up, down, left, right, and what type of lineups they're going to have is going to be really important and really telling in this game of what type of style they want to play. Because, you know, as we get into these seeded games, these higher seed games where we see established teams fight established teams and predictions get a bit more difficult, maps like Cliff, where it's a lot about player skill, it's a lot about initial positions and micro plays, that's where you really see the high quality gameplay in World of Tanks on maps like this.
Maybe some 114s now. It's possible.
Maybe. I've got a strange feeling Cashback aren't going to whip one out.
You aren't? They've played with STRV at some point in the past.
And STRV is not a 114.
Yeah, sure, but it's a natural progression, right?
What? The evolution?
Yeah.
Like back to monkey or what?
Exactly. 140, you know, it has more HP, it survives longer.
Exactly. More HP. So you can do more HP for info. That's how that works.
Exactly.
No, I played like 5 randoms in that thing yesterday and then went to bed. And I went to bed unhappy. So
cried yourself to sleep.
Yeah, it's big. It's like they say it can't be penned by HE, but it feels like you can. It's the size of a house. The gun isn't even very good, and it's slow. It's so slow. Good gracious. And even then, I mean, you get AP, but the penetration is not that high, and it's just... I really don't see what they see in the tank. I'm not a grill lover either, but I just don't see what they see in 114.
No HP pens and extra HP. I think that's about it. An extra DPM.
I mean, I think you can get penned with HE if it's in the side, right?
Yeah, but like not compared to the gorilla, you know, and to the guns shooting at it. No 114s though, so Banter probably very happy. Quad PZ, a CS, an AX. No, Liberty switches to the E50M and a 140.
Yeah, Mafia, triple BZ, CS, 50M, 140, and a Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. So they're going to have that initial info in the beginning, which is it's very important. You can't really overstate how important the first 10 seconds of Cliff are when you have a Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. Yes, you have one less combat tank, but having that info in the first seconds of the game, where it's so important on a map like Cliff, because the first 30 seconds on Cliff are the most important in the entire game, because it's where you make the decision. Do you go to the donut? Do you go up the hill? Do you play just mid, triple cap, whatever? So this plane's going to be important, and the entire team of Cashback have been spotted.
So a good plane coming out, and looking at the way that the Mafia tanks are driving, Kono going to the pocket at D3, 50M holding 1-2, they're not looking for that straight fight.
Yeah, 50M on the lower side, but Cashback are going really aggressive in this middle. It might just be posturing, but they went very aggressive. Double tank going over towards the donut, so Kono's going to be in a bit of trouble, especially if he doesn't back away. These BCs are spotted very late, and Kono's not in a good position right now.
Kono backing off a little Mindbreaker. They do not get shots on Kono, but there's Aphrodite and Aka holding, and Kono now realizes he's got to keep going. It is tough, the position he finds himself in, but Little coming from behind already, gonna keep boosting as well with that BZ. Kono now forced forward, and now Mafia starting to react, starting to make their move on towards the CS63. Kono is dead. The spot was too late, and the first kill gets found for Cashback. That's what they need, that's what they want. Aka in return is dead as well though. Immediately the retaliation from Mafia comes out. Orchek on 1-2 line, trying to distract a little bit, trying to get the guns from Cashback to go his way, and he's done just that. Brainbreaker and Liberty are on the prowl. Gonna go clean up that part of the map, but they gotta be careful though, because this leaves the middle a little bit exposed against the BZ overmatch from Mafia. We're trying to get Aphrodite and Mindbreaker. Of course, there's still that 140 on top of the hill, putting in shot after shot as well. These BZs got us all to do at this moment in time. The RHM getting some shots in as well. Can he get the finish? Can Yolo get the kill on Aphrodite? And it's gonna be Yuzek to actually do it now. Mindbreaker, the last BZ left. The HP, not that bad, but Mafia will have to somehow get Squeezy out, and I'm not sure how they're gonna do that.
Yeah, and even then, they're all going to be in the middle of this map, just in the cap, just in complete crossfire from that 140 on the hill. The upper position is so decisive, and remember that YOLO is not really a factor at the moment. Yes, they have the HP advantage, but position-wise, it's not looking great. They have so much HP on this light, who's just not doing anything. Profus gets absolutely deleted there. Yuzik Conrad in absolute no man's land right now, and the only playmaker right now for Mafia is YOLO, and he cannot 1v1 this 50M and BZ combo. It's not looking good for Mafia, regardless of a minor HP lead.
Liberty wants to take the strike. Conrad and Yusek are just holding on. They know that YOLO cannot really repush 1-2 by himself. They need Conrad to go, and Conrad is doing just that. Liberty getting spotted out by YOLO now as well. Does he get to take the strike before he gets pushed upon? He will be able to do that. Little coming back in as well. Conrad takes 2 shots. Kind of as expected. Conrad needs to make the shot now against Liberty, who will put the strike, hit the shot, make him a 1-shot. So good stuff there from Liberty. Exactly what you wanted from that E50M. Pays off fully. The CS63 now coming behind, though. Conrad has got to be very wary of that potential flying by the CS63, and YOLO seems to realize that that may be happening as well.
Yeah, YOLO needs to take this BZ shot, but looks like he's opting to take out that CS on lower side and then maybe try and play the long game.
He spots him out. He spotted him out. So YOLO found the information, and he finds the kill as well. Good stuff there. Yusek did get a shot by Little though, so Squeezy should go make the kill.
And now we're in this little bit awkward game. Squeezy will make the kill, but he's gonna have to take the shot for it. And YOLO's just out of this game right now. He needs to get in as fast as he can. I'm not sure this CS play was the play, but it was a decision that was made, and Squeezy doesn't connect it, but should get it on the second.
Yeah, Squeezy will find the kill, and now YOLO has an opportunity, at the very least, to do something with this game. Little is a 1-shot with no ability for a strike.
Yeah. But that's for a strike, and the moment YOLO takes any of the strikes, I'm not sure going for this CS was the play. I feel like he should have taken the shot, and they both went together onto the BZ there, but decisions were made, and now YOLO is in a... definitely a winnable. It's a winnable 1v2, but it's difficult. Very, very difficult.
He will find Squeezy. He will find Squeezy face on.
Yeah, that's not fun.
No, it's over now.
Yeah.
YOLO's probably not too happy about what happened there. Sadly, he runs into Squeezy. He may have thought that the 140 was going for the strike behind the hill. And because of that, could go into 1-2. It's of course very hard for YOLO, right? To predict if he's 1-2, if he's around the hill.
Yeah.
We see everything.
You have to guess. So, because they don't see each other, they can't make the prediction. It's simply bad timing. But, to be honest, I'm quite surprised this game went as close as it did. Mafia did get those initial kills in the middle, but bear in mind, they had the 140 out of the game for a long time, and the 50M on 1-2, plus light tank going around the hill. They had 2 combat tanks, plus a light tank out of the game, so I'm quite surprised that it actually got as close as it did, and now I'm concerned that Phil's going to get his prediction right.
Yeah, he might. It might be the case. One more round. Although, we can just hope that Cashback wins 3. What's worse? You know, Phil could get 2 points, right? Yeah. Or he could get 1.
Just 1, yeah. Because then he's on parity with me. Even then, I don't want him anywhere close to me. But
it's a bad situation nonetheless, you know.
Oof, look at that Squeezy damage. 7,000. Again, about 1.5k of that is on the light at the end. But because he's just on that hill, loading over, 6 degrees of gun depression, 340 alpha, near constant shots on those BZs. And those BZs are healing each other, bear that in mind. So the Mafia BZs who overpush the mid, they're just healing each other, getting shot, and just repeatedly. And it's really nice by Squeezy, taking that hill position and just having such strong positional advantage over the opponents.
Yeah, and it all started with Kono, right?
They were forced to make this play because of Kono's position. Because if they don't overpush the middle, then Kono will just get peeked on and died. And sure, the BZs who peek on him might take some damage, but if you delete a CS, it's all worth it. So they're forced into that mid overpush.
So Cashback now takes the lead, and that's the thing, you know. It's hard to predict who's going to win out here, but knowing Mafia, tiebreaker could very well be around the corner.
Yeah, very true. I feel Cashback forced Mafia to make a move. And I think if the 140 isn't on the hill, this is a different game. Because Mafia were in the advantage the whole game. It was just positional advantage they didn't have because of the 140 on the hill. It was squeezy. So I don't see this as a bad game by Mafia. They lost it, sure. But I feel like considering they had 2 combat tanks out for a long time, plus a light tank around the hill, I feel like it wasn't that bad by Mafia. I think
they played it out well with what they had.
Mafia going to win it.
They played it well what they had, so
definitely. So I do still think that Mafia are going to come back into this game and come back stronger. For my prediction, naturally.
Yeah. Maybe now we'll see the 114. You know, I just want to see the 114
Maybe.
so you can go on like a 10-minute rant about how, you know, we played 5 randoms in it, and it's the worst
10
tank
minutes?
ever.
Only 10 minutes?
I can go for 20 if you want to.
It's not the worst tank ever. The worst tank ever is the Caro, but I'm much more a grill enjoyer. Like, I just think it's just a nicer tank, but IS-4 coming out, that's a bold one.
Interesting. Mafia in return, 4 BZs, a CS, an E50M, and a 140. Yeah, the IS-4, the odd one out here. Solo, solo.
They're not changing it.
Solo center?
Yeah, I guess in that kind of holding position, but 2 BZs, 2 CSs, a 50M, and a 140 alongside it. Looks like Cashback definitely want that slow game, but could even, I guess, boosting an IS-4 is not very effective. I think the IS-4 is too heavy with too low engine power. I don't think boosting an IS-4 would make a difference, right? Well, if it's a BZ, maybe. He is pretty speedy, though.
BZ boosting it with turbo, like, you could even have browsers if you really, really want him there quickly, you know. Got to trade off on the DPM department. Hey, you never know.
I mean, if they're boosting him, he won't stay at D5, then he'll go into the middle, but opening spots, Aka and Brainbreaker spotted on this crossing, Kono going as well, he'll probably take the defensive position, but damage on the cross, 1 shot, not decisive. Looks like Conrad and YOLO are going to cross over to support Kono, and that's going to force the CSs to back away.
Good damage on the crossing towards Conrad. Brainbreaker now moving towards the 5 line. You got to be careful not to go through a similar story like Kono did. He knows they will come behind him at some point, but for now, he's okay.
Yeah, Yusek taking the hill. It's not that much damage. He could have taken a lot worse. And to take this hill position, I'd make that trade every day, but 140 loading from the back, just pressuring Aphrodite back a little bit, but now we're in this interesting situation. There is an IS-4. What can they do with it?
I mean, he's annoying on the cap, but outside of that, ooh, Liberty taking some damage here in the 50M. Rare mistake.
Yeah, Liberty one of those standout players, but mistakes happen. And now we're in this interesting position. Small cap pressure being played. Info tower taken on the hill, that gets used.
I'd say so far, Mafia in a better position.
You think so?
Yeah, they have the hill. They're controlling 1-2 still.
The hill, yeah. Yeah, if they didn't have the hill, I'd say it's Cashback. But with the hill, yeah, for sure.
I think the problem
they
is
need to find a way to get
right now.
Yeah, Profus is just kind of. I think Profus doesn't know what to do at the moment.
I think he'll go
and take the strike.
If he takes a strike and if he takes a strike and goes behind them fully, he's undoing this whole team.
Yeah, especially because a mid overpush is just not gonna happen. Like, sure, they push into Rexar, but there's about 3 tanks that are going to shoot him from the donut, plus tank on the hill.
They're almost forced to push everything at the same time. Like, push over the mid, push 1-2, and let the 140 just be useless behind.
It looks like that is the play, though. The 140 joining the Little on the Liberty on the 1 line. Looks like they might...
He's not going around, though. Going back towards the middle. 1-2 repush coming in, Mindbreaker. Brainbreaker and Aka. They see the 50 on the lower side, try to punish, don't get too much out. Mindbreaker playing close, Squeezy coming back in. And honestly, with this quick repush from Cashback, they're finding pretty good success. They know Warcheck is kind of stuck. Aka is dead though in the CS63. I think that's a strike even from Kono. Now they're going to try and kill this pocket of resistance. YOLO, Conrad and Kono holding on that, and Mindbreaker's about to take the strike as well. I think Kono realizes that, and he's like, I don't want to be here anymore. He's pushing back towards the middle, which of course Mafia is trying to overrun. In return, Mindbreaker finds the kill on YOLO. Squeezy finds the kill on Conrad. So 2 for Cashback. And you ask, what can the IS-4 do? He can definitely be annoying on that ramp position there, moving up towards the hill.
Yeah, Little went up and over the mid and went around the hill, so that's Prufus. A lot of Mafia's HP out of the game, having to deal with him. And Aphrodite's, sure, it's a low DPM, slow heavy, but that armor on the hill is going to be decisive in the late game. And right now, Mafia just not in the greatest position. Little will go down to Prufus, but after that, what's the plan? These tanks in the middle need to push Mindbreaker and make a decisive play. And you can see how annoying Little's being. He's just not... He's going to be alive for a long time because Prufus has to go and deal with him.
It's a good move there from Little to try and extend his life. Profuse will pick it up clean, so kudos to him for that. And now Mindbreaker getting pushed by Yuzek. Does connect the shot for Mindbreaker. Rexar looking for the finish. Aphrodite coming back in. Kono down towards 494. Not a one shot for the IS-4, a two shot. And the Profuse coming in from behind with the strike in about 30 seconds. Middle though is in a bit of a pickle. Yuzek boosting across. Not sure about that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the play, but Aphrodite will pick up Rexar, and Mafia need to find a way to get these, like, periphery tanks into the game. Right now, the E50M, the 140 around the hill, they're just not making plays, and Liberty will clean up Yuzek. He will go down for this. He's too close, and he would get shot in the back by Aphrodite, but right now, Prufus and Ojek need to get in this game somehow. They're simply not doing anything.
Ooh, Kono takes a mini strike, and that is important for a different factor. Two factors even. The big strike, and Aphrodite could finish him. Profuse now finally getting into this game. Gets on towards the back of Aphrodite. Will find some shots, but Siesta D2, does he have an angle on Profuse? Maybe if he goes back. He does get spotted out, so I think he tried to get a shot on Profuse, didn't connect it. One more shot from Aphrodite. On towards Profuse. That 140 suffered for this. Brainmaker might find a shot on the 140 at some point. No, Profuse seems fine. Now it's 3-on-3.
And it's a playable 3-on-3.
For both teams.
Yeah. This IS-4 had to get taken out. It seemed like a long time Prufus was out of the game, but the play is decisive and Aphrodite goes down, and now we're in this awkward position. Both teams are going to have a strike. Both teams have their positions, but I'd say the positions slightly favor Mafia at the moment. They do have this cap pressure, and I think having Orzic on 1000 HP, Prufus, they have the Inspire tank on a bit more HP, Squeezy being one strikeable. Well, so is Kono, but I'd say the advantage is slightly in Mafia's favor.
Kono will keep the speed up though.
True.
He's not going to stand still anymore. You can see him already kind of spinning circles in that CS63. And that is what we call strike avoidance system.
Yeah. Gonna make the play, but right now the Cashback need to decide. Do they try and deny Prufus the artillery strike or put it on Orzic? And they decide to put it on Orzic. So now he's 600 HP, 2 shots and 2 strikeable. And Brainbreaker making the rotation.
The good thing for Cashback is that they know that there is no radio tower for Mafia and no real point to take it either.
Yeah. But I think Mafia have been dillying a little bit. Prufus around the hill. Like, Cashback have been taking those decisive positions. It's nice that Brainbreaker's taken this one. He might be able to spot Prufus on the crossing from those bushes. Liberty will take another strike as well. So Orzic and Kono need to be careful there.
Yeah, Profuse thinks he's at A5.
Yeah. He's called it out. You're seeing some blind shots from Orzic in the middle.
Yeah.
Quite surprising that you'd think he's on A5.
I think he got confused to where he got spotted from.
Yeah.
Like the exact angle. I think he just got like a glimpse of him, got the spot out. They're gonna go take the info tower again. They can do this though. They can slowly kill Orchek.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna put the strike on Kono. They have to put it on Orzic and then
they put the big strike on Liberty, so.
But it missed.
No, it hit.
Oh no, it hit. Sorry. Yeah. And Orzic realizes he's gonna make a play here, which is definitely the right move. You don't want to get just striked again. Like there's 2.5 minutes, and all they need to do is make 1 kill and then sit out the rest. It's a very complicated game at the moment. Strike used. Connects.
Brainbreaker has a level 1 strike. Kono doesn't have a strike. Liberty will try to take another strike though. Profuse getting spotted out again. Brainbreaker doesn't want to shoot, I think, because he realizes that he could die for that. He's just spotting out Profuse, and maybe Profuse doesn't realize he's perma spotted.
Yeah, but he's got to realize the only angle he could get spotted from is Brainbreaker's bush.
Orchek is spotted now as well.
Yeah. So that's they got to be able to triangulate it now.
Liberty takes
Ooh,
a
nice
blind.
connection.
Is that a blind on towards Liberty from Profuse?
Yeah, it was.
That's a great. They used the strike.
Yeah, they thought he was there. They didn't expect. What a surprising one,
They
actually.
used the strike on the D2 bushes. Ooh,
Yeah, they put us. Ooh, in the tracks.
Brainbreaker takes one more blind. He's going to
Yeah,
drop off.
Vulgus will know it.
Orchek. Ooh. Orchek is not peeking fine enough. Brainbreaker is actually able to drop off. Liberty taking the strike. 3 one-shots on the cashback side. 1 minute here. Whoever gets the kill wins the game.
But Liberty has the strike. If he goes and takes the info tower, takes out Orjic. Need to see. Liberty's playing with fire at the moment, pre-aiming on that corner. This is really down to the wire, actually.
It's going to be squeezy to go take the info tower.
They still think he's in that corner. They put the strike there. I'm shocked. They still think he's in that corner.
Orchek is coming in now as well. CS63. Ooh, Brainbreaker is going to die to Perfuse without doing a shot. And I think Mafia will freeze because of this. They will freeze, but now the info gets taken and they will have to potentially go after all. It will get used immediately and Orchek will die off of it. He should at least die. Orchek is dead. And then it's going to be a very close game. And I think Mafia wins it though. The reason why...
Just damage dealt?
Yeah, there's a nice 4 on the battlefield.
Therefore... No, but Mafia have so many BZs.
Yeah, true.
4 BZs versus 2 BZs and an IS-4. This is going to be close, I think. But I think Mafia have calculated it. They're not trying to make a decisive play here. They're just going to risk it.
I think both teams don't want to risk it. You know, it's like gamble or lose for sure.
Yeah. This is a close one. I don't think an IS-4 makes up for two extra BZs. I think this is going to be... I think it's going to be Cashback's game, actually. Because the BZs are obviously healing each other and more heavy.
Yeah, it's 4 stars with more HP though, as well. But you know, you might be.
But does it start with 2 BZs?
No.
HP?
The extra BZ could be the undoing. It's only 400 difference.
But Cashback did have less HP at the end. I mean, it's
not. How
much,
about?
But it can make a difference.
Bust out your calculator, right?
I'm not doing that.
Oh my god.
I don't know how to count, alright? I only know that I have 19 points in the...
You just type it out.
Prediction.
Cashback to 25,993 damage.
You calculate that fast?
Just type in the numbers, you know?
I know, but it takes a while.
And then Mafia did...
I'll let you lose the abacus.
I already... Yeah, it's Cashback.
Cashback wins it.
Cashback wins it. 1,662 more damage dealt by Cashback.
Yeah, having those 2 CSs, not a lot of HP in there with the extra BZ is Mafia's undoing. So Cashback take it 3-1. It's, you know, Mafia beat W beat Cashback, Cashback beat Mafia. So we have perfect parity now.
At least Phil didn't get 2 points, right? Could have been worse.
Exactly. That is the most important factor today. And as it says in my prediction, I put 3-1. So, just saying.
3-1 for the wrong team, though.
Yeah, well, still 3-1.
Right.
Listen, I take whatever victories I can, alright? 3-1 is 3-1.
It's a really small victory in that case. This last round could have gone anywhere, though, to be honest. Not
yeah.
I mean, in another world, it's tiebreaker.
Yeah, but I think Mafia did have the better position, but I like the repush that Cashback did in the donut.
I think
they caught so many tanks for free.
The end game problem there is that Profuse caught the CS63, and honestly, I think Mafia was onto something where they were sending the E50M from one side and the CS63 from the other side. They could have pincered Liberty on the strike as well, so they would have lost one, the other one would have killed, and then it would be 2v1 at the end. But they were like, oh, we got a kill, we can freeze now, and then they got striked. And then they ended up losing in the long run, sadly. But
yeah, they didn't want to risk it.
Yeah. Next up is a very important match as well. Weekend with tournament elimination on the line here. But before that, we'll have to watch some replays.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's day number 5, and we got W and Weekend coming up in the Surfshark OLS in this coming match here. Ducky, what are your thoughts?
Was that it? You said you had some...
That was it, yeah. I noticed we're like OLS Season 5, and I was going to do like a rep with all the teams, but now we're already in match number 3, so yeah.
That's, wow. Wow, that was great, Kihan. Wow. Can I clap in the chat, guys? Wonderful. That's like when you rehearse a speech for 10 days and you're like, yeah, fantastic.
Except that I rehearsed it for maybe 10 seconds in my head.
Thankfully.
Anyway, let's hope that the teams that we're about to see have rehearsed a bit more than that. W had a strong start into the season, actually. I think 3 wins in a row, which is overperforming compared to last season, where they struggled quite a bit. Weekend, I think you could say the opposite. They placed 3rd last season, but this season 5, not looking too hot.
No, so far, if they lose this match, it's over. If they lose it without tiebreaker, it's over. It's all on the line now.
Well, let's hope Flash can carry a bit more. He hasn't been doing a whole lot, but he has stepped up for his team, and obviously if your team isn't doing too well, doing those high damage numbers is quite the problem. W, however, switching out a 1 pole for another, call me Piotr in, and since that addition, I mean, it's been going okay for them.
Yeah, it's going really well. Better than I would have expected.
Same here, because, you know, W, I mean, you could hear if you were close to the team that last season, maybe the vibe wasn't there anymore. And if I know anything about Piotr, then that he can be quite blunt in calling out mistakes. But, I mean, so far, I think 3 wins, 1 loss. Not too many mistakes coming out of W. Obviously, Weekend they must change this today. Otherwise, for them, the end of the road is going to be there in Phase 1 already, which is definitely not what they wanted. Himmelsdorf and Ghost Town getting banned out. We are starting exactly where we stopped last match. Cliff is going to be our first map of the match. Into Ensk, being picked by Weekend. Alright, quite the interesting one, to be honest. Tundra, Ruinberg, Muramanka, Sandriver all out. And if we get to it, Pilsen. Do we though, Ducky? What do you think?
I don't think so. Weekend look like a shadow of themselves this season.
I tend to agree, honestly. It looks like they gave it their all last season, and then maybe they were a bit complacent with the preparations. And to be honest, with so many teams aiming for the top in this Season 5, you just can't do that. You can't allow yourself to become content with the current state of things. You always need to put in the extra effort. But maybe they were able to somehow fix things? I mean, if not today, then, you know, all that they got to do is basically, you know, follow the circus a little bit more until Phase 1 ends, and then essentially prepare for relegations, requalifications, all of that kind of stuff.
They need a point here, but ideally they need 3.
Yeah. If you have as little points as Weekend, pun not intended, then you need every single point that you can get. And for W, with the strong start that they had, of course, you know, points are not mandatory, but being able to knock out a team early and being able to, you know, just take the points and keep them for Phase 2 in the back pocket, that would obviously be something neat as well. So, yeah, 2 teams that come from quite different outsets, but 2 teams with a clear mission today as well. And I see all of us are going with a firm W victory. Bunter, brutal. 3-0. But I feel like Weekend is always a team where you have to give that 1 complacency point. Or consolation point, maybe.
Yeah, I don't feel like W is going to win this 3-0, but we could be surprised, right?
Yeah. The only people deciding about how this is going to go are the people that we are going to see on the stream now. It's the 14 players that will decide the scoreline. As I said, Cliff's going to be our first map of the day, but obviously Cliff can be played in a few different ways. I don't think the Sheridan is going to stick on the side of Weekend. Yeah, there we go. It does change a bit. Quadruple BZ75, CS63, E50M, and the 140.
W with the quad BZ, double CS and a 140. So only very slight difference here. Another CS for an extra E50M, and Weekend has so many challenges.
Well, they've got their work cut out for them, certainly, but I do have to say I prefer Weekend's lineup just because of the added E50M DPM. Yeah, of course, CS63 can be a great tank, but it feels like it just needs so much more time to actually come into effect with the baby strike as well. It's not so easy to make it hit, especially on BZ75s when, for example, they're trying to boost. You obviously get the sound clue. As Mentos takes one by Lankak, but Evil is going to make it to the crossfire position, but takes 2 shots by those BZ75s. Good preparation from W.
They get some early damage on towards Evil, but he is going to be pretty fine in this position at the same time, though. The E50M of Lankak on the corner there, spotting out Klurf going up. Clownzik looking for the shot. Now the BZ is pressuring towards Rashband and Hellrap, trying to overmatch there. Ios moving towards the top, takes one back from the BZ. The 114 crossfire, the CS in crossfire so far. Weekend not doing too bad with the initial damage. And that CS63 that took the initial volley, he's also just putting shots back in towards these tanks on the corners. And now in the meantime, you see the tank coming from behind. That is the E50M. Josh Panda in trouble as well in his own respective tank. And now Evil getting pushed by Mentos, by Klurf will fall. Josh Panda that as well, but Klurf not doing that much better, dropping off together with Mentos, both of them on their way down. And now in return, W starting to overmatch the middle of the map. Istead chasing down on towards Nepal, back towards the ramp. Hellrap with one more in the chamber. I think it will be all she wrote for Hellrap. One more ram as well. They're focusing out Itox in the BZ75, who's stacked as well. And Istead now using the boosters to try and get away from their Kano in towards the middle. Lukin is on a 2-shot for Istead. He will need some help against this. He's making a good move, but there's just not enough Weekend tanks left at this point.
Yeah, there's not enough gas left in the tank for the team of Weekend. They've run out of guns, they've run out of steam here, and W, with a few quick maneuvers, able to secure victory in round number 1. The two teams really going super aggressive here in this round number 1, but W with the better reactions, with better opening as well, securing some quick and early damage. You could say that maybe the overcommitment with the double CS onto the singular one was not worth it, but it got a key position out of the game, and the 140 kept focusing on the CS63s just because they were so low. Yes, the Inspire was in the game because of that, but W just overrunning the middle, and that E50M, yes, he stayed alive for a very long time, but not long enough.
It's just not good enough for Weekend. Still first round already on the board for W, securing it out. That initial damage on the CS ended up paying pretty good dividend at the end of the round, because they were able to kill him so much faster. If he had like one more shot worth of HP, he'd be able to survive another volley, and that one would be pretty bad. Don't worry guys, Clownzik is not cheating. His third is just bugged a little bit, alright?
And after all of this is said and done, I mean, the trouble for Weekend, they were in a pickle before, and I think now that pickle has grown.
Yeah, they just lost in a sea of pickles. Death by a pickle-roo. I don't know. Imagine, Kian, you know, just in your dreams, there's just pickles all around you. Terrifying.
I mean, I actually like cornichons. Like, hate me for it, but I like sour things. So, for me...
bro, after your meat fondue and raclette, I
still don't get your hatred for raclette. Raclette is bussin', as the young people would
say. Listen, boomer, relax, alright? You are way too much. We're way too much in the home-cooked meals to be talking like this.
But yeah, here we do see the damage numbers, and yes, Lankak in that E50M, almost 5k damage, but simply not enough, and I think that comes down to good preparation from W. Yes, they ended up losing the CS63 a bit early with Klurf, but overall, I think they just created the better overmatches where it mattered, because obviously, if you're the 140 on the side of Weekend, you're going to keep shooting those CSs because you just assume that those are going to be the important targets to take out just because of the DPM. But W, with that overpush, everyone loaded in the middle, able to focus fire really well. And on top of that, I mean, the engine for Iset getting damaged, yes, he was able to repair it, but imagine you just pressed your booster and you get the engine damaged. And I'm not exactly sure percentage-wise how big the penalty is to your engine power, but basically popping the boosters doubles your engine power, but if you lose half of it, then, well, you're just driving up slowly once again.
That was a lot of math in a very quick amount of time. Either way, looking at it, W versus Weekend. First round for W. Weekend was keeping head-to-head for a while though, but W just overrunning that middle.
And a good called overpush at that. Like, yeah, the CSs ended up bleeding a lot, but because of that, the BZs were just able to brute force their way through. And normally on Cliff, like if you have BZs against BZs, it tends to kind of be a standoff. But if one side kind of salvos everything, then the other one is going to overpush and will have an easy time focus firing. So, as I said, good reactions for W here. Let's see if they can double it up.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a 1-1, you know?
You got that feeling?
I got that 11 feeling.
Let's see how it's gonna go. Cliff, of course, one of those maps where a lot of things can go wrong very, very quickly. Or right, depending on who you are. But it just felt in this last round like W was more on point, right? More awake, more there. Locked in, you know?
For sure. Round number 2, Weekend. Triple BZ, a Bat, a CS, and a 140, but don't worry, Clownsick will switch out of the Sheridan.
I'm waiting for him to stick it one of those days, but nope, it's gonna be another BZ. And for W, we have the double BZ together with a CS, W50M, a 140, and an RHM. So W actually bringing a very light lineup. I mean, Weekend also kind of quick, but they have a lot of meat, a lot of beef with those BZs, a lot of HP to go through. Yes, the Batjack kind of flimsy, but once that tank gets going, it can be very, very powerful.
Now, what is the start from both these teams? A lot of things 1-2 line for W to start with.
Good plane, taking all 7 players. So full information for W. We'll see how much good that's going to do for them. Is the replane going to come out by Clerf is the question for now. He decides to hold it, gets a manual spot off with the RHM. Doesn't take any damage. That's a very, very cheap cross, but obviously the RHM on the hill can get repushed as Weekend is concentrating all the forces, save for the Batchat and the 140 in the middle of the map. The Batchat taking the artillery strike, and W forced into that reactionary role. They're taking 2 points of interest, whereas Weekend can only take 1, but they have the cap under control. They're not stopping though. They're driving over towards those BZ-75s. That's a lot of open ground to cover, but no one's shooting them from the side. Kano as well. Yes, the RHM from the top of the hill is going to continuously rain down fire, but I don't think he has the DPM. Nepal already almost down and out, driving into the strike, barely avoiding it.
Even in the meantime, in that CS63 just gets run over though. He was left in the middle area. He never evacuated, just stuck on that corner, and that is an even bigger loss than Nepal being down on towards a one-shot. He had to retreat back into the middle somehow. Mental's taken 2.1k to the face though, but the problem is that Weekend is just gonna die in these positions where they're currently at. Mentals finds a kill with the mini strike, and you can see the surround on Weekend. Clownsick trying to retake the hill, but he will not make it on that one at all. He's just gonna die. Nepal finally goes down, but in return Clownsick falls. Now they're gonna get Piotr out of the game, but still RHM on the hill. Crossfire from 1-2 line. There's something possible here for Weekend, but with Hellrap falling as well, I don't know.
Yeah, and the thing is that RHM on the hill continuously has the option to just focus anyone he really chooses to. If someone goes down very, very low, he's going to pick them off. He's still full HP, so possibility for a late game carry, even if that's required. Iset doesn't seem to have a repair kit for his Amarak at this point. The RHM could probably splash him to death even. I think that was an HE, so good ammunition choice by Clerf. And W just, with those reactions, you had a feeling for the 1-to-1, but W just shut the door and say no.
Yeah, 2-0 coming out of Cliff. Weekend, I like the idea of pushing through, but the Shrike missing is a problem. The CS63 staying on the 4 line and not just hightailing it out of there. It doesn't really matter where he goes as long as he doesn't sit to die. That's the whole problem. He cannot sit there to die, which is exactly what he did.
I was a bit concerned actually for W when those BZ-75s by Weekend were able to cross without really taking any kind of meaningful damage towards the C6-7 position. But it ended up working out. The fact that the BZ-75 stays alive of Nepal is obviously huge as well. That is someone that can put in 1, maybe 2 more shots, and you probably have to commit maybe even a big strike to pick him up because you weren't able to before. So a lot of things going really, really well for Weekend, and I think for W, and I think the assets that Weekend brought were just not the right ones for the job. The Bacha can be super good when it gets to clip, but it felt like he wasn't in the game from the start, which is required.
No, man, the bigger problem remains the CS dying in the corner. It's just not something that you can really get away from or should be allowing. It's just not the way that things should be, and he's probably going to be pretty low on the damage as well because of it. Trash Panda doing even less though, only getting 2 shots out. Good crossfire later on from W. Good call as well to boost away with the BZs, cutting their losses.
And overall, once again, I stand by what I said, that W just seems more awake, at least on Cliff. The reactions were really good for the Rheinmetall to do 4k damage as well. That's pretty huge, and keep in mind, he is that continuous threat that keeps those really low HP tanks by Weekend under control. All of those BZs that ended up pushing that really long way. Yes, there are houses to hide behind, but you can't really completely stay safe if you actually want to partake in the battle moving forward. So W just creating a killing ground, giving room to Weekend to just make the mistakes.
Weekend's gonna have to find their best possible ends performance though.
Yeah, W picking Cliff, it going to 0. Now, if Weekend want to have any say in how the rest of the Surfshark OLS 5 goes, then they will have to start right here, right now. Otherwise, it's going to be a quick fairy tale of how Weekend came to visit, where nice little tourists with a lot of teams liking them being in the phase 1 because they ended up giving them points, and that was all she wrote.
Weekend was very good on Ensto last season. They were very good.
Does it transfer into this season is the question. I mean, not really that much has changed, with the biggest changes to Onslaught between the seasons, maybe being the addition of the 114 SP2, but let's be realistic on Ensk. Does that really matter? I would say no.
Well, we'll see. I still have hopes for them to pick up 1 round again, you know?
They probably have the same hopes. The question is just, is it going to come true? They need it. Will they get it, though? Because W, I mean, maybe not last season, but the seasons before, 2 and 3, they were known to be very explosive, very ruthless. And this season, more often than not, it feels like they've come back to that kind of play style. As we do see the tanks being selected, and I think Weekend just dropping all the gloves, dropping all the subtlety. Triple BZ-75, a 140, triple Bliska.
W in return though, triple for speed, triple Bliska, and a BZ. Now, if W can find a good engagement, it's a very scary lineup. If they can't, it's a very tough lineup to execute.
I don't really like that W don't have an Inspire medium. Especially with having like 6 turretless tank destroyers. Because while it doesn't really help so much with the Foch Bs when it comes to the long clip reload, it does also help with turn rate of the tanks, with repair speed of the tracks, etc. when you're inspired. So I'm not sure. It is not that often that we see a team currently not picking an Inspire Medium. Kano immediately driving through, staying in the artillery strike, and there is a singular Foch B by the team of W that has been left on the field. Clorf providing spots right now, but there is absolutely no one that can support him, and even if Ios makes it back, that is a very, very long shooting line for his tank, meaning he is going to lose a lot of the damage that he would normally do, and Clorf already ability active, taking a lot of damage. It's going to keep him alive for the time being, as the BZs have a pretty long reload. He's going to try and make 6 for 6. He might even be able to do that, but he's not going to be long for this world. Trash Panda reloaded, good shot. The second one by Evilok, and that was a very, very cheap first kill.
Good move by Evilok to get behind Clorf as well. Clorf there doesn't really help his teammates out by letting Evilok have a shield. Otherwise, he was in the open altogether. Could have traded 1 for 1. Now they just lose a tank basically for free, and this is Weekend's round to lose at this point. Piotr in trouble as well. Yeah, this one-dimensional lineup got spotted out in the city. Weekend was playing aggressively on the field. They find that Foch B instantly. Clorf could have blocked Evilok in position so that they would have traded 1 for 1, and then who knows what's happened. But now when we look at it, you can see how the cookie crumbles, and the cookie is crumbling right in front of Piotr. He's down towards a one-shot. He will die. Weekend will not let this one slide.
Absolutely not. Maybe Piotr will be able to do one more shot. I don't think even that is going to be the case, as Nepal might be able to help out against Iset. Nope. Kano gets shut down, so that is the Inspire gone. But if we take a look at the HP, does it really matter? And the answer is a big fat nope, as Itox also bites the dust. It's only 4 tanks remaining for W, as Ios also gets overrun. So 3 versus 6. The HP is simply not there. W running out of steam. You said it, one-dimensional lineup. It was banking on the fact that Weekend were maybe going to play a little bit more passive, but they didn't. And so Weekend in dire straits still, but they managed to stay alive.
Well, good for our predictions, Kie. We're gonna need Weekend to lose the next one, though.
I mean, if they would have lost this one, then our predictions would have been over. So I'm quite happy with this result. Now, I would honestly be happy for Weekend to pick up 2 more rounds, but W, they looked so strong on Cliff. I'm not even sure if they are going to make that happen. But Weekend, for now, the good news for them is that they managed to stay alive in the OLS. How much longer is the question?
At least 1 more round of Enskiant. But that might also be the deciding one.
And I mean, they will be playing at least 2 more playdays, but how much of a say are they going to have in the outcome of those is also, yeah, the big question here. It did look okay by them, at least this round, simply because, well, Weekend reacted pretty well to what was happening. That's the first time we actually saw that in this match, but they will have to do that at least 2 more times. And against W, that can be kind of a tough ask. I don't think W are going to be too annoyed with how this round went either. I mean, let's be real here. It was kind of a one-off tactic that they played. Like, it's a 50-50. Either it works or it doesn't. Either it works beautifully and you completely drive over the enemy team, or, well, you get found out and you get killed.
1 more round on ends to bring it to tiebreaker. Do you believe, Kian? Say no.
No, I think W tried something funky here, but if they go back to like box standard, then Weekend hasn't really looked like the team this season that can take on W, to be quite honest with you. The roles have kind of flipped in that regard. But maybe they'll be able to surprise us, because W, they tried an interesting strategy now. Maybe Weekend does the same, and maybe it works out for them. So I don't think they're down and out yet. They have proven last season as well that they can be a very serious team to play against. It's just that this season, a lot of things, a lot of clutch rounds as well, have not gone their way. But what better time, what better point in time to change that than now, right? I mean, if you don't do it now, you might as well not do it at all.
I mean, now is better than never, right, Kian? But they have already have the problem that they lowered their max potential points, right? Their max potential points was 9. It's now 8.
Mm-hmm.
That's already a kind of a problem, right? Because we're talking about they have a chance if they win all 3 of their matches. Lotus also still has to play 2 matches. Yeah, they could pick up some points.
Every single one of those is going to be worth its weight in gold for all the teams you just mentioned. On the positive side, if you try to find a silver lining here for Weekend, Ensk has been a very comfortable map for them in the past. The first round went their way as well. Maybe W prepared on Cliff, but not so prepared on Ensk. Maybe they just put the focus in the trainings a lot more on Cliff and haven't really done so much on Ensk yet, especially since they had to integrate a key player into their lineup. But it's all gonna be decided right here, right now, possibly. Weekend, once again, let's wait a little. Never mind. Here we go. Double BZ75, 140, Bliskowitz, and triple Fosh B. So maybe they want to show W how that one works.
Possible. W has only 2 Fosh Bs, so 140, a mouse, and triple E4. So a different kind of style. Bit slower as well with the E4s.
Yeah, although the E4 is, when you play against Fosh Bs, it can be very annoying as a Fosh B because your clip potential gets lowered and you don't really want to hold your shots because at the end of the day you still need to clip out. And I don't think you're really able to be of meaningful impact to the game if you're clipping out an E4 that's on like ability stage 2 or 3 as a Fosh B, because you're just out of the game for so long. That being said, though, Weekend have taken a lot of map control on the green, and for W, it's just all out in the city. Clerf safely taking the artillery strike. I think maybe the 140 of Yoss is going to take the info tower, and Kano has taken the AD strike, but opts to not drop it onto Clerf here right now. So I guess we're gonna have a bit of a throwback of Season 3 with both teams building up their nuclear arsenal.
Unless there's a repush coming out from either team, but it's not looking that likely. The problem for Weekend is they'll have to use strikes to reset the mouse.
And of course, if W were to choose one tank to take the strikes from Weekend, it would be the mouse, because, well, if they strike an E4 that has damage reduction on, it's okay as well, I suppose. But the mouse, it just starts with so much base HP. And I think he's even getting experience via capping here. So he's continuously going to generate roll XP. And indeed, his level 1 ability just came up. Clownzik, he might be the one to stop the base cap. Oof, big shot in towards Iset though by Mentors. Iset unable to retaliate.
Clownzik blocking the cap, naturally, but that does allow you to pick the BZ at some point, so you gotta be careful with that.
I mean, Mentors with that one shot of damage has generated a level 1 ability, so he could maybe peek a little bit as Clerf and some of the Weekend players in the south are exchanging spots as well. But for now, of course, W with more damage dealt. That's quite easy to see. And Nepal is going to be the second one on the artillery strike here for W. He's going to pick up the second one. For Weekend, it's going to be Lankak. So it's going to be a Mexican standoff between both of those teams. Who's going to blink first?
I mean, second strike being taken. Second strike already taken for W. So both teams up to 2 strikes. This may continue for a while like this. They will take the information tower again. But still, the problem remains that Clownzik is peekable there on the BZ when he's blocking. Gotta be really careful with that.
I think the 140 just destroyed one of the rail cars as well, so he's going to have a bit better possibilities for spotting. Lankak taking the info tower as well on the green. But for now, both teams playing, let's say, a very methodical and controlled game of World of Tanks, aka Both of them kind of parking the bus, although I would say that for W it's looking a little better at this point in time than it is for Weekend.
If Nabala goes inside of C4, he will clip out on this mouse, on this BZ for free. Clownzik will be forced to block, and then they'll be forced to use the strikes on the mouse.
Yeah. And even if they use the strikes on the mouse, keep in mind Itox continuously generates roll XP for healing back up. Hellrap taking one by Clerf. That doesn't really get answered. Kano trying to retaliate, but I think he just destroyed the wall there to be able to spot a little further, and Clerf immediately going on the long reload, excuse me. So he's gonna have 6 shots available, as it doesn't look like anything's gonna happen soon.
I said we'll take the next strike. Ios taking one as well. I mean, Ios can maybe even shoot Clownzik under the rails at some point. He's trying to get some shots, but I still think for W the opportunity is with 1 or 2 guys, preferably with 1 because of the strikes. Even like one of the first Bs to peek Clownzik and push him back.
Oh, Trash Panda in the south, driving over. That's actually a push with the triple Fosh B in towards W4 from W. The mouse is going maybe to be the point of contention here. He immediately takes a strike to reset him as Evil drives in with that Fosh B, but Nepal is already in place, has reloaded as Pyot is going to get crossfired between Trash Panda and Evil, but he has taken so much damage. A strike going down, a secondary one as well on towards Hellrap and Language, who drops down towards one shot. Hellrap even getting picked up by Nepal in the strike. In comes the repush from W, but the first kill is there for either side. It's just a brawl and an explosive one.
The issue is Language is dead. I said in the Blitzkavitsa kind of surrounded as well. They don't have any more Forge B bursts, but W will lose there soon as well. But they still have those E4s left fighting off against the BZ Trash Panda pushing in, but it's a 4 KHP mouse in front of him. Weekend with the desperation attempt, and desperation does not lead to success. It just leads to elimination as W is marching on, holding strong. They shut down this push that did not find the success that Weekend was looking for. And with that being said and that being done, Weekend will forget about any dreams of stage 2 as they are now mathematically unable to make it. So we have our top 6, and Weekend kind of for them very disappointing.
Especially after the result from last season here. It's the dying breaths of Weekend in this match here, and with that any hope is gone to make it any further. Evil is going to extend it for a little bit. The mobility part of his ability is still active. He's going to maybe put a few more shots. Nope, that one goes into the streets of Himmelsdorf. He's healing a bit further, but that is going to be all she wrote. Ios to put the last nail into the coffin, and W are going to secure themselves a nice and I would say also valuable 3 points from this match against Weekend.
Good stuff for W, keeping on the top of the leaderboard, continuing to make points. So for them, good stuff altogether, or like, you know, closing the gap a little bit as well. They will be on 10 points now, and because of Mafia's defeat, they'll make it even again with them, and then we'll see where Hit and Run goes in the next match, of course.
First of all, let's take a look at the damage numbers, and to be honest, if you're Itox in that mouse, that must have been such a comfortable game to play. Like, you're just standing there passively generating roll XP. At some point the enemy pushes, it's not too far away from you, you drive there, you know, shoot left, right and center, you pick up a few kills. That could have been me, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It was for Weekend a bad season, but they can always find their way back into the OLS, of course.
Absolutely. There will be ways and possibilities for them to make it back. First of all, ahead of them are 2 more matches, though, which I guess for them are going to be a little bit of glorified training, to be honest. They're not going to go without rewards. There are monetary and also in-game rewards for 7th and 8th place as well. But for now, the hopes and dreams that they possibly had of making it to Phase 2 have been shattered by W, who look, except for that one little loss that they had really, really good this season. So potential once again for them to make a deep run in possibly the playoffs. We'll have to wait and see. First of all, we'll go to some replays, and after that, we'll be back with the last match of the day. See you soon.
TM with the readjustment here. Is Illusia going to get another shot in towards the lower plate? Yes, that means one shot on towards the 50M. Is XC-Max going to pick it up? Good shot in towards the cupola. It is the 1v1 we've been waiting for here, and he does it.
The OLS Season 5 is already here. The best teams are ready to head onto the battlefield. Who will you be supporting? Root for your favorites, follow their journey, and stand by them. With you on their side, they'll be unstoppable. You take hits together with them, and that means you go all the way. Behind every vehicle is a personality whose quick thinking and precise actions can change the outcome of battle. Victory is 100 shots and maneuvers, plus 1,000 emotions on the other side of the screen. Support your favorite OLS team. Be by their side. Together, until victory.
Well, hello there and welcome back to the last match of the day. It's going to be the proven team of Hit and Run against the new guys on the block, CTR, but those, except for maybe some slip-ups, have performed quite admirably so far in the Surfshark OLS Season 5. And speaking of them, before we jump back into the action, a quick shout out. They are the official sponsor of the OLS Season 5, and we're happy, of course, to have them supporting the tournament. For those that do not know, Surfshark's a VPN that helps keep your connection secure and private, whether you're gaming, traveling, or browsing online. It works on unlimited devices, that's quite crazy, and it is fast and easy to use, exactly what gamers need. Surfshark also has prepared a special offer specifically for you guys, our viewers. Just go to surfshark.com/OLS or hit OLS at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. You can find all the details via the clickable Surfshark banner below the stream. Just scroll down a bit. And now let's get back into the action because I'm actually quite excited between Hit and CTR. Which one of those two is going to win? What do you think, Bunter?
Well, I mean, you know, logically you think Hit and Run, but CTR have been cooking this season. Like, honestly, some of their tactics and the plays they've been making have been quite impressive, actually. Like, taking Mafia to, I believe they took Mafia to tiebreaker, right? And also, like, a lot of nice plays on Tundra and some other maps. I like the way they're playing at the moment. They have a nice play style, they're coordinated, and they're making it work. So even against a team like Hit and Run, they can make them bleed.
Of course, the question with such new teams is always how long can they keep it up? And at least last playday, the answer was like not so long. Here we can obviously see the team of Hit with all of those tried and proven players. I think most of those pictures from WCI were I got to meet them as well. Bunch of very, very nice guys. CTR, they have yet to make their biggest mark in the OLS circuit, but with the games and with the matches that they've been going so far, I think they would be with the minority of newcomers to the OLS to make it to Phase 2.
Yeah, I mean, I've drank with the Polish guys. I'm hoping to drink with the Czech guys as well, but I mean, they're doing quite well for a new team. Like, they really are. So we're hoping we can see a competitive game here, and not a Vulgus performance that we saw on the last play day. A bit more teeth, a bit more fight, and to see a less decisive lineup. So, and you can see in the predictions, it's not 99 to 1%. It's a 2/3 split, which is not that bad for CTR.
Yeah, it's actually quite a lot for CTR. Personally, I would have given them, like, let's say around 20%. But then again, there's always the caster predictions where we can bet with our own flavor. But first of all, the maps that both of those are going to be playing, Tundra and Ensk, gone. We are going to be starting on Ghost Town. And I think for Hit, that is a pretty good pick. I mean, they do have a lot of assets to use there as well. For example, with Cat's Eye, being a very, very proficient light player, etc. For CTR, I mean, they are represented in that department, but I think the experience is just going to favor Hit on that very, very technical map into Cliff. And I think the reason why CTR picked that is because it can become quite chaotic at times, and maybe CTR wants to surprise Hit there. Then again, Hit, they are a team that thrives off of chaos.
Yeah, I mean, like, Hit doing the immediate Tundra ban, I think they saw how good CTR are on that map, and Ghost Town's a really nice pick for Hit, because, you know, they have so many light players. Basically, all of them are proficient to a level far above us to play light tank, and it gives you so many options. I think this is one of the few times we've seen Ghost Town this season, actually. I don't think we've seen it that much. So
yeah, it's not been that high profile, to be honest. But I think for Hit, actually, Tundra is the permaban. Like, not only against CTR, but basically against everyone. Whenever it comes to their first ban, it's always going to be Tundra. So they were like, yeah, maybe CTR is good on it, but to us, that doesn't really matter because we're banning it anyway. It doesn't matter how good anyone is on it. Caster predictions, well, most of us are saying 3-1, except for Darky, who completely disrespects all results that CTR have been putting up so far, and he's saying it's going to be a quick and brutal 3-0. I think that's doing a disservice to how CTR have played so far.
Yeah, I mean, in the previous round we saw, I went for the 3-0 and it kind of came back to bite me, and I think it's going to be the same here. I think CTR, of the four weakest teams, Lotus, Vulgus, and Weekend, I think CTR have shown they're the strongest at the moment. But looking at the lineups here, Hit and Run, IS-7, Type 5, Batchat, E50M, 140, E4, and a Rheinmetall Panzerwagen.
And for CTR, we have the double Type 5, the Batchat, the Leo 1, the E4, the RHM as well, but, and that is a but, as much in capital letters as his nickname, Koidicek, bringing the WZ1321. Yes, the tank was buffed a little while ago, but most people still really don't consider it that viable. That being said, of course, it has a plane, like all of the tracked light tanks, and it also has, let's not say the strongest, but a turret that can actually hold some shots.
I mean, I bought the tank when it first came out, and I don't think I've actually ever played it. I think it's in my garage the whole time. I think I have no games in it. So can you give us an expert opinion on this tank?
It's, for me, it kind of still feels, because the thing is...
Can it brawl with this IS-7?
You can't really outspot Manticore on T100, and you can't really out-DPM the RHM, or the Sheridan for that matter, if it has the small gun. But what it does have is what I said, that turret. Oh, big hit though, in towards Koidicek. The second one as well, he tried to make it out, but he's going to pay a dear price for it. I was talking about it, well, if they're shooting into the hull and not the turret, all that turret armor doesn't matter. What it does have is 390 alpha damage, so but for me it always feels like kind of a budget tier 9 medium with really, really good camo, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. I mean, even if they hit the turret, I thought they were going to bounce it, but I mean, it's just an interestingly niche choice, you know? It's like trying to be a bit alternative with the 114, 114.
They were actually using it to great effect in the qualifications for Season 5, like the games where they actually made it in towards the season where they qualified. They played a bunch of Ghost Town rounds, all with that WZ, and it ended up working beautifully on that 9-0 line where it got to use its turret, because against like T100s, RHMs, you can actually play hold down. Good plane though, not sure who it was, probably Monster on towards Herman here. He is going to completely find him out, chase him out of that position, and there were tanks to even, capitalize on the fact. So Monster, who's playing the light tank 1v2 right now, is going to start into the round with both of the enemy LTs having taken damage. That is a dream start for him.
Yeah, it's a nice play by Ketsa. You know, he peeks, he shoots to see if he gets spotted, and then you kind of triangulate the angles of where Herman could be, and you do a logical plane. So it's nice. It's showing that experience that Hit and Run have to be able to kind of calculate where Herman would be. But it's minor damage being traded, still more on Hit and Run's side, but Barbarian taking damage on that E4. It's not what you want. You want the type to be taking the shots, and he uses ability as well while he's scooting away. So not horrible for CTR at the moment, but not great. But this IS-7 is very isolated though.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm not a huge fan that Woodog is driving forwards here, but there is actually no one for hit and run to cover this, and so a lot of those tanks by CTR are going to be able to fire in towards that IS-7. Not sure how many tanks from hit and run will actually be able to cover. Woodog driving forward, big shot in towards the IS-7. The WZ will now keep him continuously spotted. Woodog taking a lot of damage because the E4 peaked as well, but T-Sec, he has to fend off against that WZ light that can actually frontally penetrate him, but DJ with the first pickup in the meanwhile against Proly, and that E5 has gone down off screen. T-Sec down towards one shot. Can CTR respond? Yes, they can, at least in the kill department, but the HP, Bunter, the HP, they're long gone. It's 15 versus 10k.
Yeah, and it's not only that, though, it's also the map control. CTR are just locked into this, like, what would you call that? 10 lines, 7 out of 10 of the map, but it's just gone, so about 70%. Like, just absolutely gone, double strike on the side, and Hit are not slowing down here. They're not going for the strikes, playing it slow. They can smell blood in the water, and they're absolutely bleeding CTR dry. Woodog on a one-shot, Floki on a two-shot, Ketsai moving forward here, who's going to absolutely bully Herman, and I don't see any way back into this game.
No, absolutely not. CTR, they have 6 tanks alive, but that's not going to do them any good because they're going to be dropping like flies. Ketsai even able to dodge the strike. We've seen so many dodge strikes today. Yes, there is going to be a plane to like keep him spotted, but Barbarian coming in with a good cupola shot in towards Crazy War. Yes, he has the ability active, so he's going to stay alive for one more hit. But Pan's Fury there to shut it down. Monster with another kill on towards Floki as well. And CTR just crumbling before hit and run in this first round here. Yes, the IS-7 was a juicy and tasty snack on that 8 line. But what did it cost them? Well, everything.
And that's the nice thing about being hit and run in this situation. Because you're the big dog, you can take a lot more risks. They just kind of fully rotated, and CTR didn't realize that they'd made this full rotation until it was far too late. It took them forever to kill T-Sec, and by the time they'd killed him and the HP that was lost in the process, they just got completely surrounded and picked apart. Really nice game by hit and run. Just shows the experience and just being able to bully CTR into a corner and never letting it go.
I mean, the amazing thing to see for hit and run was that the worst trade, quote-unquote worst trade that I saw, was a trade that you would be okay with, right? Barbarian in that E4 ability active trading with one of the Type 5s. That's kind of tit for tat, to be honest.
Yeah,
that is fine.
The worst trade I saw for hit and run was T-Sec, and even then, I think T-Sec got about 3k damage out. Like, he penned at least 3 on the Type, and I saw 2 on an E4. So, like, one isolated tank all on its own, you really want to pick him up a lot cheaper than what they did. It took them forever to do it. And because of this, it just allowed Hit to just get into them and just never give them any chance to get back into this game. And you can even see the damage here. Like, T-Sec has almost 3k damage. A tank isolated on its own on that side should never get out that much. Plus strike damage as well.
And that is going to mean that Hit, just with experience and not showing anything absolutely crazy or, absolutely outlandish, just by playing well, covering all the basics, they're able to get the first point on the board. And to be honest, I don't think they even had to really, really sweat for it.
No, not at all. It was just a simple round. It was just a rotation. And then they committed tanks onto T-Sec, which meant they were all spotted, and because of that, they just kind of closed the loop and made them bleed for it. It was such a simple game for hit and run. It was like picking up the 1 kg weight at the gym. It's just minimal effort required, and we need to see more from CTR if they want to actually get back into this.
And I think for CTR with that WZ light tank, yes, it worked well in maybe OCS for them, but there's a reason why OCS is kind of the second league and OLS is the first one.
Yes,
is that the level of gameplay is just higher on these matches that we're watching so far. And maybe with individual player skill, which all of the 14 players undoubtedly have, you're able to do a lot of things and get away with a lot of things that you're able to in OLS. But I think here, the player to shout out is actually Monster. With that light tank, because not only did he outspot Herman with a really good plane, I think the reason that Koidicek got spotted in that WZ-132 was that Monster before that was also planing the WZ on the getaway, and I think that is absolutely clutch.
I don't think he planed him on the getaway. I think Tizek was peeking with the IS-7 and he spotted him.
I think it was the IS-7 because it would be weird then if the IS-7 doesn't take damage for that.
Yeah, he didn't take any damage for it. I think he just peeked on turret and he spotted him. It definitely wasn't the plane that saw him. It was Tizek. I feel like this VZ, it's kind of one of those. It's like the 114. It's like you pick a like little alternative pick to try and throw the enemy off. If you ever seen like someone taking a pattern as an inspire medium, it's like, or a 1-1B even. It's just a kind of, you throw a spanner in the works and you hope it breaks the machine, but in this scenario just seemed to make the machine even stronger.
Well, I think CTR about to drop the funny little things that they tried in round number 1. That looks a lot more box standard, a lot more heavy, and a lot, which might be good for CTR, a lot easier to execute. Triple BZ75, IS-4 Type 5, Batchat, and RHM. So skipping all the fancy shenanigans, back to the basics.
Yep, hit and run, 1 IS-7, Type 5, Batchat 50M, 140 E4, and Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. What do you think about the IS-4? I'm curious.
To be honest, I think it can work really, really well in this meta, especially against the BZ75s, because those have kind of low-wish pen, and so the IS-4 side-scraping against BZs can work really, really well. Doesn't work so well against high pen people, like E4s or Type 5. You can shoot from above, overmatch him, but so far so good. The IS-4 is the one taking the single shot of damage, but CTR immediately with cap pressure. Monster, though, getting spotted out. That was a good plane. Floki with a big shot as well, but that actually ends up giving the strike priority over to T-Sec. Franek also taking a strike here, so cap not really an issue so far. T-Sec getting reset, but Franek on the outside with that Batchat able to get it. No, he gets reset. 6 seconds remaining. CTR, they might be completely surprising hit and run here. I don't think hit and run have anything to reset with. Never mind, resets coming out. Pan's Fury the one to do it and doesn't have to sacrifice so much HP. Ketsai with a good shot in towards Evo, but that was clutch.
Yeah, it was. It was a nice opening by CTR, actually denying Tizek the strike, denying the Batchat on the other side. But now you can see here that we're settling in. 4 seconds left, though. There does need to be another decap. It finally comes in there. That's the Type getting it. So Crazy War is decapped there. So now we're reset. 14 seconds to go, but it's not looking that good for hit and run. They're not losing by any stretch of the imagination, but this pressure by CTR is nice, and they're bleeding this Type for every peek he makes.
And the thing is, the Type cannot be sure to penetrate, so he has to continuously load HEs. Those trades are absolutely terrible. 1 second remaining. Pansphere driving in. That is a bit of miscommunication on hit and run side as the base gets captured. Pansfury just too late, and CTR, they equalize it with the simplest trick in the book. They just capture the base.
Crazy, actually. I'm amazed they made that work, because I was looking at the box in the left corner. I saw the E50M went side on in front of the IS-7, and I kind of fixated on that because he was trying to shield the IS-7 so the IS-7 could take the strike. But in the meantime, they just capped out, and it's just, is it that simple? Is that the code? It feels like it shouldn't be. Like hit and run, but just getting fast capped in a. Like, Barbarian was close, the Type was close, the 140 was getting decaps on Ivo. I really feel like this just felt too simple, you know what I mean?
As in round number 1, you know, if you do the basics, but you do the basics well, it really ends up working.
Yeah, but that first round was more coordination and player skill. This one was just wild. The fact that they're just simpler, a strat's so simple, and the fact that they weren't able to get those decaps. I saw that Panzerfury was shooting HG to get the decals, but I guess he doesn't have the DPM for it. I don't know what Barbarian was doing in the meantime, though. He was next to Herman. He just wasn't getting those shots. I feel like this is one of those things that just shouldn't happen to a team as experienced as Hit and Run.
Yeah, with those guys, you would expect that they have so many layers upon layers of contingency plans that something this simple can never work. But
yeah, ogres.
Well, it does end up working out. Food for thought, maybe, for hit and run. Because, well, if CTR can do it, then maybe some other teams might be able to do it as well. So,
I mean, personally, I applaud CTR because this means Daki's prediction is wrong. And ours is on track, so that's perfectly fine for me.
True. I forgot all about that.
I've already messaged Patras. They're allowed to lose the 2 cliffs now. But yeah, it feels so simple, you know. It's like adding salt to British food. It just makes it better. It's like such a simple addition.
Did you just call British food good? Like, I give...
No, I said adding salt to it makes it better.
Oh my god. I give Darky Crab all the time for disliking like raclette, but, you know...
I don't even know what raclette is, actually.
Huh? It's like...
We don't have that.
Yeah, exactly, because you have British food. It's basically...
Have you ever had a Sunday roast? Is
that like with the beans, etc.?
No, that's beans on toast. That's like a struggle meal. No, Sunday roast is the best thing ever. But German food, I get it at the Christmas market every year. It's always the same. Just a hot dog. Sauerkraut. What else you got? Raw meat?
I think I got a quick change of direction about the topic of this stream.
Anyway, adding spices to CTR strats means they can cap out. I think that was the original point.
But yeah, I think Ghost Town ending on a little bit of a head scratcher for everyone.
Yeah, I did. Like, I did not think this cap could go through. I was looking at the box in the corner. I was looking at the 50M shielding the IS-7 to get the strike off. I genuinely... It just never entered my mind that CTR could actually cap that out with Barbarian and Panzer Fury so close, but...
I mean, especially considering the fact that normally cap strategies, they either work immediately or they don't work at all. But for like the second or third attempt for the cap to go through, with the miscommunication of the Type 5 being too late as well, that was very uncharacteristic for...
Well, normally what you do is you apply the initial pressure, draw the enemy close, and then once the decap comes in, you push off the cap and make the kills of the guys who are close, right? You're like reaching into a crocodile to grab something, and it snaps its jaws. But here, they just sat it out and made it work. But anyway...
All right, CTR looking for another one on the board, and they do so with triple BZ75, triple CS63, and a singular 140, so 7 single shooters.
Yeah, which is a nice one. And the other lineup basically exactly the same. BZs, triple CS, 140.
Yeah, so hit and run basically trading away a little bit of the strike possibility for getting a lot more DPM and a little bit of armor infight as well with those E50Ms. The thing is, like, yeah, the strikes from the CSs can be cool and all, but first of all, you actually need to do damage to charge them, and to... Let's be real here. The level 1 ability kind of useless if you don't get to reset anything with it, because you don't even get the stun effect with it as well. That one only comes with level 2 as Crazy War and Evo crossing over, exchanging spots with Monster, Panfury and Barbarian, trying to shoot over with those BZs, but this time around none of those shots are connecting. The CS63s by CTR are going to be able to take a lot of positions very, very early on and hit run with that rather passive opening. Do they have the positions to continue from here? Because a lot of neutral objectives will go to the side of CTR now.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. Koidacek takes the hill pretty cheap. They have the CSs on with donut control. I'm surprised about Woodog and Herman's position. They're kind of in a holding position, expecting an overpush in the mid. But I'm kind of curious what they're going to do with these BZs now. It seems they want to go around the hill and challenge Ketsai.
Ooh.
But if they do this, then they're going to go up the hill. And it's quite an interesting opener by hit and run. It feels like they don't want to take any risks. They just want to kind of feel the game out and play on vibes a little bit.
Ketsai just got reset by a strike here. And now Patras coming in. But Flopping is shot. Herman, the next one to back it up. And he doesn't miss those. Ketsai taking a big one, and yes, the E50M has a lot of DPM, but not enough to chew through 2 BZ75s. That is a good track shot coming out from Ketsai. Patras fluffs the second one. Imagine he hits both of those. That would be 1300 damage on towards Ketsai. He would be 700 HP, but no. Fronic, though, trying to reinforce the E50M, gets found by Koidacek. So the position on the hill, so far so good, but Barbarian making his way up and over with the BZ, paying a lot of HP, but that is still a healthy BZ on the hill.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth it by Barbarian. I'm quite surprised CTR played this double around the hill, because it's obvious that hit and run would do a reaction, either repush the donut or go and retake this hill, and now Koidacek is really in a problem. He's not equipped to win this engagement unless a few more strikes come in, and that's forcing CTR into a mid repush, which is not great for them due to the crossfire positions on the donut. Koidicek is really not equipped for this. Maybe he can actually win it on DPM, but I don't think Barbarian's going to let that happen.
Oh, I'm not sure if Barbarian just fluffed a shot. Never mind, it was Koidicek. We have to keep our eyes peeled on the bottom left corner where Koidicek is in a death struggle against Barbarian. It will take 2 more shots by him. 1 more by Barbarian, but he might have the DPM. Never mind. Ketzai coming in with the strike. Absolutely clutch. Hit and run in control of the hill, but they lose. He's sec for it. Pansperry also getting focused in the middle of the map now. Woodok about to be reloaded. Can he put 1 more shot into Pansperry? That's the case. And now all of a sudden the 140 on the hill has a lot of DPM and a lot of HP to go with it. But it seems like Fluky right now is bouncing a lot of those shots on the BZ.
Yeah, you can see like CTR have a good HP lead, but these bounce shots are really making a difference. 2 missed shots by Patras, 2 missed shots by Floki, and now this hill engagement becomes a lot more complicated. Woodog crossing to the donut, but that's taking massive damage in this. He needs to pen this shot on DJ so Crazy will finish, and he doesn't. So Floki will win the hill now, but it's just a long march to go and take Franek, and this is... It's not looking good for CTR at the moment. They were up 5k at one point, but
he even gets picked up. Oh my god.
Micro mistake.
I thought he was going to be able to get the kill, so now Hit and Run are up in the HP and also kill department as Patras also falls towards a shot of Ketzai. Herman has a lot of HP still, so he'll be able to take the Inspire out of the game. Good wiggle with the gun, by the way, so finally a good microplay coming out from CTR, but still they are behind in guns, in HP. It is 2 versus 3, and they're playing Inspire medium, heavy tank against... well, CS63, so strike medium and double E50M with Floki on the hill, but he is getting rushed by Ketzai. And yes, the 140 has the Inspire, but the E50M, it has the X, it has the funny button, and as we can see, he has the level 3 ability. That is absolutely... yeah, nothing you can do with the 140 against this Ketzai, not bouncing those either, just toying with his food at this point in time. Another bounce shot from Floki, and you really cannot help but wonder, how does this game go if CTR just had that little bit more pen rate?
Yeah, I mean, the double shots on Patras, they're a bit forgivable, you know, it's a BZ, but this one, you know, I know Floki very well. I'm good friends with him. He's been in my teams before. But this close range, you gotta be connecting those. It's such an important kill to make, and he'd have so much more HP if he'd connected them. Same with this engagement at the donut with the BZs penning the 50M. If that 50M is dead in the late game, it's a 2-on-2 there. And yes, Hit have more HP, but there's still potential in it. And this was really CTR's game, actually.
I feel
they
like...
were up 5k at one point. 5k HP. That's no small amount.
I feel like, honestly, CTR... I don't want to... Nah, I'm going to say it. CTR, that was maybe skill issue throw, to be honest.
Maybe. It can be like that, especially in those tense situations. I've been in the shakes before, you know, when it's like super close, 2v2, and you need to make sure you hit every shot. And I shake generally. Not just intense situations, but yeah, it is a little bit... I know Floki. He's like a 6k DPG player. He needs to be hitting those.
Well, that enables Hit, to be honest, the Purple Dragon, to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. And, well, the Czech Lion kind of looking a bit sad.
Look at the strike damage on CTR, though. Those CSs got next to nothing out on their small strikes.
Yeah, I mean, Crazy
has 5k. He would have multiple small strikes.
I mean,
and not a single connection.
Let me actually check in the game how many roll skill uses the CS63s have. So, Koidicek, he has 2 roll skills used. Evo, 2. Crazy War
would have maybe
3.
4. It's gotta be connecting. I think Ivo's is small strikes. No, actually, I think Ivo got 1 big strike, actually, and maybe 1 small strike. But still, it's gotta be... You gotta be connecting the... If you're taking CSs, you get those small strikes. You gotta connect them. It's a small circle, and it's not that easy. It's harder than it seems to connect a CS small strike. But these are little things that make the difference. This and the bounces, this was CTR's game, 100%.
And to be honest, I think the CTR players know. Like, after a game like this, where not only one person bounced shots, but quite a few of them, ended up missing or bouncing the shot. Like also, Ketsai was able to do so much this game, but that was just the case because the BZ at the start of it didn't hit both of the shots. If Ketsai essentially starts with 700 HP instead of 2000, then, you know, that DPM, E50M all of a sudden becomes a lot less worrisome for the opposing team.
I mean, for me, it was the hill. That was the biggest thing. Not just Floki, but also, I can't remember, I think it was Koidicek on the hill in the CS. I think he also fluffed a few shots when the E50M was up there. Like, these are just little things. Like this, what people need to realize is we are on the top level of World of Tanks. You can bounce shots at top level, but not this many. It's got to be, I don't know, nerves or, well, how good CTR, how good hit and run are, you know, with their positioning, their movements to be able to bounce shots. But anyway, we need to see if they can bounce back. And, you know, this match has shown me that CTR are up there. They can perform here. Like, they're not, you know, it's not nice to say, but they're not Vulgus. They've got all weekend. They've got teeth.
To be honest, it feels like the thing that stands between CTR and victory right now is not hit, but CTR themselves, kind of.
Yes, I understand what you mean by that. It's themselves, you know. They're hurting themselves. It was a bit like last play day, W against Mafia. It felt like Mafia went winning games. W were losing games. They were hurting themselves in confusion. And it's the same here. I mean, the first round on Ghost Town, fair enough, but the rest, definitely CTR's games.
Well, let's see if CTR are going to pull another surprise out of the bag for us. It certainly looks like it, judging by the lineup. 50B, BZ75, Type 5 Heavy Tank, Batchat, 140, 114 SP2, and an RHM. So I guess everyone's playing their favorite tank today.
Yeah, need those times twos. Hit and run, double BZ, triple CS, E50M, and 140. Quite the lineup CTR have. Quite the slow. It's CSA of old reborn, you know. It's a 10-minute game.
I mean, they certainly want to buy time for that 114 SP2 to get into the game. Good plane as well coming out from Koidicek here. 6 tanks out of 7. That's going to net him the replane as well. Together with a lot of info, the only one that he didn't see is the E50M on the lower side, but that by itself is some info as well. Monster and Pansfury driving over. Herman does not get tagged by the BZ75s. Ketsai, however, ends up taking a shot for crossing over, but to be honest, that is a very, very cheap cross. Koidicek takes one up as well, still a cheap cross.
He didn't take the big shot, which is what you want, and Patras popped ability, which means he doesn't have ability anymore.
I think,
but still, the fact that...
Ooh, that is a neat little angle through that thing here. Koidicek was unspotted because Ketsai's spotting points were actually looking at the info tower. He was trying to use it as a shield against heat shells, but it ended up working against him.
Yeah, I mean, now the nice thing for CTR is that hit and run don't have a light tank, so they don't know about this 114. I think the type has been spotted, but the 114 is still unknown because he hasn't hit anyone. But still, they got to hit that shot on Ketsai going up in the beginning, and now we're in kind of like an old school cliff, you know? Bat on D4, a 50B on lower, a tank destroyer in A5, a heavy tank in the mid just as an anchor. It's what we've seen over the past few years, but I feel like this is a setup that hit and run know how to play against, and they will break this down.
I'm just waiting for like a Batchat to appear on the hit and run team and try and boost like F7, because I think that's still possible. If not 100%, but it would be a nice throwback.
You can't do it, but if you create a Congo line with people, you can push someone up.
Oh, Franek here though, spotting out Crazy War, getting a shot of damage in, but Floki from the sidelines, he's going to be hold down. T-Sec though with a good retaliation as well, and Crazy War with that flop shot is going to bleed quite a bit towards Franek in that 140 as Floki, once again pushes up Koidicek, trying to defend himself against the CS63 of Ketsai, but Ketsai looks like he might have taken a shot of damage by the 114 SP2, not sure about that. Patras doesn't have any charge right now on his 114 SP2, so maybe a missed shot. Koidicek with the plane as well, trying to keep himself safe from that CS63 that's looking very angry right now.
Yeah, this is a really important engagement on this hill. The hill can break or make games, but you kind of see it again. Crazy War not connecting on the 140. It's consistent across the team. Every time it's a bounce shot, it's different players, but Koidicek is playing well right now. One shot from Patras is a difference maker. But nice by Ketsai, gives that free shot. And now, Ketsai with the advantage. We'll need to see Herman. This is
Herman?
Where are you going, sir?
Well, he's very lucky to get unspotted here with that bad chat, and honestly, that was, all things considered, quite the cheap cross.
But I'm confused why he even made the cross. He was under no pressure. I guess maybe they want to try and get him up the hill, but still, I feel there are better options. This was a bit of a strange one, why Herman felt the need to leave that position.
I think
he folded under no pressure.
The fact that Koidicek consistently drives close with the RHM when Ketsai tries to take the info tower should tell Hit and Run what's up. Like, they're trying to hide something. Good shot once again by Ketsai, but he ends up taking 650 by the 114 SP2 that finally has charges again. Good strike, though. That is a double strike. And Monster, with the team captain himself, is going to stand up and claim the scalp of the opposing team captain. And yeah, Hit and Run now realize, whoops, there must be a sniper tank.
But you see, this is like what we said before in the previous game. CTR just not hitting their small strikes. But here, Hit and Run hit all their small strikes then. That was only one big strike, I think. And the rest, all small strikes on the RHM. And they connected all of them. Placing these small strikes is a skill. It's a valuable skill.
Well, Herman does make it through unspotted in the bad chat. He's going to be driving up the hill. Now he gets spotted. How much punishment is going to come is the question. Oh, that is only a singular shot of damage. So he is a 3-shot for that CS63 of Ketsai that obviously realizes, whoops, no, against a bad chat, I'm not going to be able to do that. Woodog still anchoring in the middle though, but that E50M is looking dangerously alone in the 1-2 line for CTR that are also trailing 3000 HP. And the problem with the Batchat is it cannot be sure how much support Ketsai actually has, how many tanks rotated around. And with 842 HP, he only has a single shot, one opportunity to make it happen against the CS that he doesn't know how many ability strikes he has as well.
Yeah, but in the meantime, CTR did pick up that around the hill strike, so that's going to help Herman. Hit have one of their own, but it is doable. See, strike gets play 610 HP. Yeah, I mean, it was the big strike. It's kind of hard to miss, but they need to hit these small strikes if they want to make something work. But Herman now, for now, has the advantage until Hit and Run plays a strike on him. But
he ends up taking a shot by Ketsai as well. Now he's a 1-shot. That's a problem. And there comes the big strike. And once again, it is that story of consistently doing damage with the strikes. Ketsai absolutely outplaying not one but 2 players in a row on the hill. Shout out.
Yeah, it is boys to men in this game, you know. This is what I said in the beginning. This type of strat that CTR are playing, it was effective in 2014 with an I7 in the mid and, you know, but now it's kind of been figured out and a team like Hit and Run doesn't fall for something so simple as anchor tank in the mid, TD at the back and play around the hill with hill control. It's not, you know, this is too much of a simplistic way to play, in my opinion, from CTR. You can do this when you're the stronger team, but the weaker one, you're always going to struggle, and these are nice blind shots going into Patras.
Yeah, he was spotted in the meanwhile as well, and in comes the next info tower, so Patras has to drop. That is a very important position to have to give up. If we also check the roll skills, he doesn't have his ability now. Probably missed another shot, tried to maybe hit a pixel on Ketsai, who managed to stay safe, and in comes the repush. Ketsai with another shot and a spot as well onto Crazy War. Fluky from the sidelines trying to pick up the strike, does get found, does get shot as well. Consistency once again from Hit and Run, just hitting all their shots and then running away with it consistently.
No bounces there, just straight connections, straight pens. It really does kind of show that this round was kind of a show of force by Hit and Run, to be honest. The kind of, you're going to play such a basic strat against us, well, we're going to punish you for it, and you can see how it is. Like I said, from a tactical perspective, this is an effective strat in 2014, but it's been found out. It's been years since this type of strategy has been played in 7v7 because there's just too many openings, too many holes you can poke in it. We've got info towers which can get, which can make A5 get spotted. We have strikes that can mean you can win the hill. There's just, Woo Dog, you can have all the HP in the world, but at the end of the day, a type goes pretty quick when you've got 140s and boosted CSs shooting at you. Finally, it dies with the sad 114.
Yeah, and I think after all of this is done, Hit and Run taking a pretty comfortable match here against CTR. And yeah, show of force is probably the correct way to say it.
I mean, I feel in the previous Cliff, that really was CTR's game, but this one, not at all. This Hit and Run were in the driving seat from the beginning, and they never let this game go, really. Like, Ketsai outplayed 2 people on the hill, really showed some dominance there, and yeah, I just feel that this last one just wasn't it by CTR. I felt like they were kind of out of ideas, and they went back to basics, and that can work sometimes, but not against a team as experienced as Hit and Run.
Well, and that leaves us with this 3-1, where we do see the damage dealt as well. I mean, Ketsai on that hill, he ends up not being top damage, but I think he really was the most important player for his team.
A crucial contribution, you can say. I mean, he's only beaten by Tzek by 100, but you can see, look at the assist as well, 3k assist.
I mean, I can also check like the battle stats here as well. Ketsai ending up, with just so much impact on the game. Like, if you think about it, he played a 1v1 on the hill, he won that, and then another player came for him, and he won that as well, and he was still alive and kicking.
The thing is, it wasn't really a 1v1, it was kind of a 1.5 against 1, because he's got 2 of the CSs with strikes. He has the big strike all the time as well. Like, you can see all of this spotting. It's not really from people shooting, it's just from the big strikes. That's why he has no kills, because Monster picked up 2 kills off of strikes, and you can look at Hit and Run's strike damage compared to CTR's in the previous game, where they had the CSs, 500, over 1,000, 900. It's a massive difference, and it makes a big one.
Other people could maybe say that's kill stealing, but Ketsai is just royalty. He lets other people do the killing for him,
sharing is caring.
But yeah, overall, really great performance by Hit and Run, except for that single round on Ghost Town that honestly was a bit of a head scratcher, where the Hit players are probably
watch that one.
Yeah, the Hit players probably still confused how all of that happened. But that is going to mean that we will have the opportunity to look at the standings for now. And that leaves Cashback together with Hit at the tippity top of the scoreboard. 4 wins, 1 loss for each of those. 14-5 rounds as well. Difference +9. Total 13 points for them. I think the difference maker here that Cashback won the direct comparison. But yeah, both on a 4-win streak as well. Mafia with the loss today, I guess, on 3rd place together with W, but both of them shared points too. And then CTR still, despite the loss today, on 7. So that is not unreachable still. I think this, except for the 2 teams at the bottom with Weekend and Vulgus, this might be the closest together that we have been at this point, at least in regards to the top 6 teams. And for Weekend and Vulgus, both of those, it's mathematically not possible anymore to make it to phase 2.
Yeah, I think next playday is CTR Lotus, right? Lotus, right? Oh. And Cashback will play Hit, I think.
It might be the case.
Yeah, next week Cashback play Hit and CTR play Lotus. So the first 2 games. So this is going to be, next playday is going to be very important actually, to see who gets the top and who takes that all-important 5th place spot.
And if you were asking yourself, when is that next playday? Well, production's always on the ball. Shout out to them. That one is, of course, as you can see, Sunday, the 1st of February. So in 3 days, it's going to start 2 hours earlier today. That's just because we also have the OCS Rising match there. So the 2 best teams from the 2nd league are going to be playing a show match there for quite a bit of money as well, just for all of our enjoyment. And then phase 2 is going to conclude on the 3rd of February. Then we are going to have a small little break, and we'll continue with the action in the Surfshark OLS Season 5. That being said, today has been once again quite the interesting streams with quite some rounds where the players probably are still wondering what exactly went right or wrong. But yeah, thank you very much for casting with me. We are, of course, going to be raiding Dakilza after. He'll have the OLS token drops as well. So if you tuned in a bit late, don't worry. You'll be able to grab them there. Have a wonderful evening and see you all on Sunday.
Gifts, they're for dreamers. Deals, take the shot.